In 2024, I built a fully automated affiliate marketing website, and this is how it went. I decided to build my website with AI tools. I created more than 300 automated blog posts in 1 month. I then fully optimized my website and built 100 high-quality backlinks directed to my websites. So at this point, I just need to wait for the traffic to roll in and start making money, right? The website started off pretty good. Traffic slowly came in, impressions were up, and clicks were up. And then something really bad happened to my websites. Overnight, the website died. The AI-generated website was completely removed from the search results, and 3 months later, it's still dead in the water. Google detected AI content and marked my website as spam. So as a result, all 300 blog posts now were completely useless. So all these new AI automated blogging tools simply do not work, and they will infest your website with worthless articles like mine, even if you instruct it to write like a human. Oh yeah, one other thing. We were also denied by Adsense, Ezoic Ads, and other advertising websites for having low quality and thin content, which basically means the AI generated content has no value. So it's safe to say the AI spam party is over. Google is definitely cracking down on all these new AI automated blogging tools that generally infest the internet with worthless content. And I'm sure you've all noticed that SEO is changing, especially for 2025. Blogging away on your blog and praying for traffic is a losing strategy. You want proof? Check this out. A recent study and stat by SparkToro shows that almost 60% of Google searches end in 0 clicks. So this means people who are searching for something on Google typically aren't clicking on anything in the search results. Out of the 41% of users who actually clicked on something, 70% clicked on organic results, 28% clicked on a video or image, and less than 1% clicked on an ad. So in 2025, I completely changed my affiliate marketing strategy, and this time things went way different. I created a personal article about how to rank high on Google. We used a combination of AI tools and personal writing skills, and after a hard day's work, it happened. We ranked #1 in 5 days. Now, most content creators on YouTube are going to recommend you start from your blog, but that is a losing strategy. I'll be showing you the Parasite SEO method where you can get articles ranking on the first page of Google in just a few short days. So then I headed over to Quora and started mentioning my article. You know, that old people website? I used the same AI marketing strategy, and in my first 28 days, I received 13,000 views, and in the year, I gained more than 500,000 views. Now, to be fair, blogging is great, but video content creation is the future. So in this affiliate marketing tutorial, I'll also walk you through how to create video content for your affiliate marketing websites. I then went over to YouTube. I purchased many YouTube shorts and generated more than 15,000 views with links directed back to my website and articles. Plus, there's brand new AI tools that you can use to create high quality AI generated videos. I'll walk you through 2 amazing platforms that you can get started with if you want to create high quality video content. Check out these videos. I uploaded these videos and gained 15,000 views in just a few short days. I'll also show you how I set up my studio, show you my equipment, and how I create YouTube scripts, and how I create YouTube videos step by step on this YouTube channel. Then I went to Reddit, good old Reddit. I asked a few questions, made some really high value comments, and in just 3 days, I gained more than 80,000 views and thousands of visits to my websites. Plus, many people were even offering to pay me for help since they viewed my answers as very high quality. Now, I've been doing affiliate marketing for about 9 years already, and we generate about $50,000 to $75,000 a month with affiliate marketing. So if you're serious about learning affiliate marketing, today in this video, I'll be showing you how to do affiliate marketing step by step for complete beginners. So we're gonna break this video up into a few different sections. In step 1, website setup. First, we'll cover how to set up your foundation and create an affiliate marketing website step by step. In step 2, setup tools. We will integrate Google Analytics, email marketing tools, SEO tools, and make sure your website is 100% optimized for visitors coming to your websites. Section 3, affiliate marketing overview. I'll walk you through how to sign up for affiliate programs and show you what are the best affiliate niches in 2025. Section 4, create contents. Creating a blog post or video, it takes time. It's sort of a science. I'll walk you through how to create high-ranking blog posts that rank on the first page of Google, and also show you how to create viral videos that can instantly bring you traffic. Section 5, SEO methods. SEO is changing. I have created a checklist that will walk you through how to use SEO strategies. Diversifying your content in specific platforms is key, and I'll walk you through how many questions, how many answers, blog posts, and content creation you should be making every month for successful affiliate marketing websites. And as a bonus, we have actually more than 480 templates available for your affiliate marketing websites, and I'll show you how to import these later in the video. Now, before we begin, there are timestamps in the video description, so you can use those timestamps to jump to any part of this affiliate marketing tutorial. With that said, let's go to section 1. Now, there is a link in the video description. It'll take you to section 1, and that's to get your new domain and web hosting. Okay, now this is Hostinger.com. Now, Hostinger.com is among the fastest and also the most reliable web hosting in the industry. They are also officially recommended by WordPress as well. Now, before we begin, if you speak other various languages, here at the top under this little American flag banner, we'll click on English, and here you can switch to your native language. So if you speak Japanese or German or French or Thai, you can select your native language and the entire website will be translated to your native language. So here I'll close this. Now here I'll click on Claim Deal. Now here we have a few different plans. We have the Premium, the Business, and the Cloud Startup. Now, I personally recommend to go with the business plan. With the business plan, you actually get more resources, more storage, and you can host more websites. And with the basic plan, you only get SSD storage versus NVMe storage. If you're not sure what that means, just know that NVMe storage is 4 times faster than SSD. So as a result, your website will be a lot faster if you decide to go on the business plan. And don't worry, you get a free domain, a big discount, and a 30-day money-back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. So once you decide on a plan, you'll then click on Choose Plan. Okay, now the next option you'll select is the period. So right here, if you click on this arrow, you'll see we have 48 months, 24 months, 12 months, and 1 month. I definitely recommend going with 12 months or more. This will actually apply the largest discount available, and you'll still get a free domain if you select more than 12 months. So go ahead and select the period, and on the right side, you'll see that we have this option for a coupon code. And don't worry, I got your back. If we scroll down right here and enter the coupon code Daryl10, we will save an additional 10% on top of the discount already available. So right here, I'll click on Apply, and there we go. So now we have 81% total in discounts, and you'll only pay $43 for the entire year, and that's all you're gonna pay. So once you enter in that coupon code, you'll then click on Continue. Now the next step is you'll register for a Hostinger account. So right here, you'll enter in an email address and also a password. Once you enter in your email and your password, you'll then click on Register. So next we're brought to our checkout page, and here we need to input our information for our billing address. So I'll go ahead and fill out my information. Okay, once you enter your billing address, you'll then click on Continue. Next, you're brought to your payment method. So here you can pay with credit card, you can pay with MasterCard or Visa, American Express, or for those of you who have Discover, you can use a Discover card. Also, you can pay with PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and Alipay. So I'll go ahead and put in my credit card information. Okay, so once we fill out our credit card information, we'll then click on Submit Payments. All right, so after the payment page, it'll actually redirect us to the next page. Okay, so now we're gonna walk through the Hostinger wizard. So who is this website for? Well, it's for me or my business. I'll click on Next. Do you want to create or migrate a website? I want to click on Create a Website and click on Next. So next you'll create your login credentials, and this is what you're gonna use to log into WordPress. So make sure you write this down. You'll put in your email address and then also put in a password for WordPress, and then you'll click on Next. Next, they're asking us what kind of website we wanna build. We can actually click on Create a Blank Site and skip this section. So I'll click on Create a Blank Site. So next you'll enter in the domain for your new website, and you get a free domain using our coupon code. So this is the domain name that people enter in the address bar when they're browsing the internet. So for example, I'll put darylstutorial.com. After we type that in, you'll see this is our free domain and it's currently available. So you'll go ahead and select your domain here, and then you'll click on Next. So next we're going to register your domain, and this is important because you're claiming ownership of this domain. So is this personal or is this a company? I'll select personal. You'll then select the country of where you registered this domain. So I'll put United States, and then I'll click on Next Step. And next you'll enter in your contact details. This is important because this lets people know who actually owns this domain. So if you ever want to sell your domain later or something, they're always going to look at your contact details. So go ahead and put in your first name, your last name, and your contact information. And once you're done, you'll then click on Finish Registration. So next you'll go ahead and select a server closest to your target audience. So if you're in the Americas, you'll go ahead and select United States. If you're in Europe, you'll select Germany, or if you're in South America, you'll select Brazil. This really isn't that important because you do get free CDNs with Hostinger, and that makes copies of your website and puts it on servers all around the world. So your website will still be fast regardless of your location. But in my instance, I'll go ahead and pick Arizona right here, and then I'll click on next. So now Hostinger is going to install WordPress on our new domain. So just give this maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. And congratulations, this is now your new WordPress website. So this is Hostinger's welcome wizard where they're just saying, hey, get started with your website, and they offer some tutorials and all that cool stuff. Now, before going any further, I first want you all to check your email. So going over here to my Gmail, you're going to receive very important emails from Hostinger. The first thing that you're going to do is verify your email address. This will make sure that you are a real person, and this will actually verify your email with Hostinger. So I'll go ahead and click on verify email. Okay, and this is the Hostinger dashboard, and this is where you can access the websites, you can make free business emails, and a whole lot more. We'll talk more about the Hostinger dashboard a little bit later, but let's go ahead and go back to the email. There is one more email that we also need to click on, and that's from Hostinger as well. Here, click on inbox. You're going to want to verify your domain right here. So verify your email address to use your domain. I'll click on this, and then we'll click on verify email. So after you click on that link, our domain information has now been verified by hostinger.com. So let's jump back to our WordPress dashboard. So here you'll see at the top, we have this preview domain. Now, in order to access your website and get out of preview mode, all you got to do is type in your domain name. So type in darylstutorial.com. And this is now your new domain where you see it's live on the internet. Now, if you ever want to log into your WordPress website, there's 2 ways to do this. You can either do this through the Hostinger dashboard. I actually do this quite often because I get very lazy and I forget passwords really easily. All you'll do is go over here to the website tab, and then you'll see your domain, and you can just click on WordPress admin, and this will log you directly into your website. And just like that, we are now logged into WordPress, and you'll see that we are now using our live domain on the internet. And if I click on visit site right here, you'll go ahead and see a copy of our websites. So next, let me show you all how to log into WordPress using your browser. So here you'll enter in your domain name, and then you'll enter -wp-admin, and this will bring you to the WordPress login screen. So I'll press enter. This is where you're going to enter in your credentials. You'll enter in your email and your password. So just remember, these are the credentials that you created when you installed WordPress. So I'll go ahead and click on Remember Me, and then I'll click on Login. So that's how you can log in and log out of WordPress, so you can work on your website from any location. All right, party people, in this part of the video, I'll be showing you the WordPress general settings, and then we're going to import a starter template. So we're going to make your website look really nice, and then we're going to import some designs. And after that, I'll show you how to design it using the page builder. Y'all ready? Let's go. So next, let's go ahead and talk about the WordPress dashboard. So here you'll go ahead and see a list of your pages. So if I click on all pages right here, you'll see a list of all of your pages. These are just demo pages, so you can just go ahead and delete these pages if you don't want them. Also for posts, the same thing for post. These are a list of all of your blog posts, and you always get this cool one called Hello World, which is just an introduction to the blog, but we can go ahead and also trash this. So I'll click on trash. And that's how you can delete pages from your websites. So let's go ahead now and jump into the important WordPress options. So let's go ahead and go over here to users and click on profile. So the first thing you can do is you can go ahead and change the backend color scheme of your websites. So if you like blue or coffee or midnight, you can go ahead and select one of these colors. I do like midnights. I feel like this is easier on the eye, right? If you scroll down, you'll see this is where you can change your email. So if you ever forget your password for WordPress, it'll always be sent to this email. So make sure you have access to it. We'll go ahead and scroll down. Now, if you ever want to change your password for WordPress, you'll go ahead and click on Set New Password. And then you'll enter in a new password for WordPress right here. Once you're done with those options, we'll then click on Update Profile. Next, let's go ahead and go over here to Settings, and let's click on General. Now, the first thing is you can give your website a name. So I'm going to put Daryl's Store, right? And then you have a tagline. This is kind of like the tagline of your website. You know how Nike has Just Do It, right? You can put a tagline if you want, or you can leave it blank. You can also upload a site icon, and this appears at the top of browsers when people visit your websites. And scrolling down, you can always adjust your email address again right here. Now, for those of you who speak various languages, you can actually change the backend of WordPress to your native language. So if you speak Chinese or Russian or Dutch or Spanish, you can go ahead and select the language right here, and the entire backend will change to your native language. Once you're done with those options, we'll then scroll to the bottom and then click on Save Changes. Okay, now there's two more options that I do want to check. Let's go ahead and click on the Discussion tab right here. Now, WordPress started off as a blog, so people typically are going to leave comments on your websites, but that's really annoying. So right here, I'll click on Allow People to Submit Comments. This typically will allow people to spam your website with like Viagra pills and all sorts of crazy stuff. So make sure you uncheck that box, scroll to the bottom, and then click on Save Changes. And the very last option before we design our website is permalinks. So right here, I'll click on permalinks. Now you always want to change the permalink structure to post name. This is optimal for SEO and it's a lot cleaner. You'll see these other links right here are really messy with the date and all this unnecessary information. Post name is actually optimal for SEO and is the best setting for your permalink structure. So go ahead and select post name, scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes. Okay, now let's go ahead and click on our dashboard. Okay, so now we're gonna build a website, but before we build the website, I quickly wanna talk about this affiliate marketing course, what it entails, and everything that we're gonna learn in this specific course. So affiliate marketing, building a profitable online business. Now, affiliate marketing can be very lucrative if you understand what you're doing. If you're just gonna blog away thinking you're gonna make money, that is a losing strategy. And there are easier ways on how to get massive traffic where you can earn commissions right away. So who am I? Well, my name is Daryl Wilson. My website gets around 30 to 45,000 visits a month. Here's my analytics. Now, as you can see, my website is seen quite a lot in these search results. Now, these are search results. I have a lot more clicks coming through my website through direct methods like YouTube, Reddit, and other various platforms. But as you can tell, we have been doing this for quite some time. I know what it takes. So yeah, I'm not just some fake guru. My website is a very high domain authority website that does receive a lot of traffic. I make around 50 to 70K per month, depending on the season, but I make that through various programs, and I'll show you my, we'll talk about the revenue a little bit later. And I've been screwed many times. There's a lot of bad affiliate programs out there like HostGator where I've been screwed. They probably owe me a lot of money, but I just didn't really pursue anything. I just said, I'll forget it, Now, I'm not only on YouTube, but my blog also is very well known. My website does have a strong domain authority of 74, where generally I'm more of a established authority in the WordPress industry. And I receive about 500 to 1 million views on my YouTube channels every single month. So I'm not a fake guru, okay? I actually do know what I'm talking about, and I actually am a full-time affiliate marketer, right? Next, so what is affiliate marketing? Now let's just start with the basics here. So affiliate marketing is where you promote other people's products or services, and when they sign up for that product or service, you get a commission of that sale. Pretty straightforward, right? I think everyone here knows a general idea about affiliate marketing. Now, when you sign up for these programs, you get links, and you can place those links on your YouTube channel, on your blog, on your Pinterest, wherever you want to post it, and if someone buys it, you would make a commission. Okay. Now, why affiliate marketing? Well, I do encourage people to start with affiliate marketing. It is one of the best ways to build passive income. In fact, many companies out there, they do actually rely on affiliate income. So you'll see that 30% of companies do rely on revenue from affiliate marketing, which is, that's almost a third of their revenue, right? So it is a large amount of revenue that affiliate marketers like myself are bringing these companies. You can work from anywhere. So right now I live in Thailand, right? So I live in beautiful Bangkok, Thailand, so I can work anywhere. You have no boss, no annoying coworkers. You can start with no education, and it is a very low startup cost. You don't need to worry about building a whole business and hiring staff. You can literally start from right now behind the screen from where you're watching me on your sofa, on your chair, or whatever, right? So the first part of this video, we're going to be creating a home base, right? So this is going to be basically where we're going to bring all the traffic and then also remarket to those customers. Now, a really quick tip, guys, is if you are starting an affiliate marketing website, I highly recommend that you actually create your own product or your own service. For example, Here is my Stripe account, and this is where we sell Elementor templates. Now, I make money through my own products on top of affiliate marketing revenue as well. So for example, we started these products back in 2022, where we're only making like 16 grand a year, right? But then it jumped up to $67,000 a year, and then $71,000 a year. And as of right now, we are in the first quarter. We're on trajectory to make about $90,000 a year selling our products. So if you are starting an affiliate marketing website, I highly recommend to offer some sort of service or product, because you're bringing all this traffic to your website. You might as well sell something on your own and not rely on these other affiliate programs that might screw you or that might delay your payments or something like that, right? So anyways, this is going to be the website that we're going to be building today. So this is just a general startup website, and essentially what this website is, it is I would say a dual website, right? So we are an affiliate marketing website for digital products. However, we are also in the business of web design and maybe even marketing, right? So this is why I highly recommend to, diversify your strategy. Don't just offer affiliate marketing, don't just put all your eggs in one basket. It's always a good idea to offer various services on your affiliate marketing websites. Now, let's talk about branding, right? Many of you might have a problem with branding where you just simply don't know where to start, and I totally understand that, Now, on my website, darrylwilson.com, we offer tons of templates in a variety of niches. You don't even have to buy these, but you can just browse around, take a look at these templates, and get some inspiration. For example, if you are in the fitness niche, we have a new kit here called Fit Life with a really cool little pop-up right there. And these kits are really simple to import. You just go ahead and download a folder, you upload it to your website, and the entire website propagates automatically. So in this specific kit, you'll see that this person is like an instructor for fitness, where they are selling their own courses, right? But on top of selling your own courses, you might also want to incorporate a blog that basically talks about, top 5 best protein shakes to buy, top 5 workouts, top 5 ways to build a good chest, how to get 6 packs right away. It makes sense to diversify and add in like an all-in-one if you're starting an affiliate marketing website. So another thing that I wanted to talk about before we jump into making the websites is actually talking about the design of your blog and also the design of your brand. Now, I feel like today, many of the blogs that I've been on, they simply aren't appeasing to the human eye, right? Now, here's my blog post. Now, let's just imagine that you don't even speak English, and if we scroll down, you can see that it has a really nice structure. We have some images, we have some colors, and it's in a really friendly way where if you're just scrolling down like this, it just looks good. Like you don't even know what it's saying, but it just looks good, right? Now, compare that to something else like this right here, where you're just scrolling and it's just this like very generic, too much text. The images don't really appease to me, and it just doesn't really, it doesn't capture me. Like this is just another boring blog. You really want to diversify your design, and you really want to distinct yourself differently from those other blogs out there. That's why for my blogs, you'll see that these actually rank quite highly, and we use a really nice design emphasis for our blog post. One more thing that I want to talk about is if you are looking to build a brand, I highly recommend to actually use a name. Today, if you want to make an affiliate marketing website or a business, you're a lot better off starting from a personal brand than some sort of like random website like, Websites R Us, right? Or something like that. People want to build a personal connection with these influencers online. And when you have a brand that's personal, it's a lot easier to sell than just going to some random websites and you don't really know anything about it, right? At least with this right here, you can build a brand and people can see who you are, and you can give people a chance to see if they, like your content or not. And a lot of blogs do this. Like for example, WP Beginner is a very popular blog. And on the very front page, the guy is saying, hey, I'm a human being behind this blog. We're not just some general random blog. A lot of bloggers, they want to put their brand out there because when you see someone in front of the blog, you're like, okay, this is a somebody. This isn't just some random boring website. You take it a little bit more serious. So when building a affiliate marketing website, I do recommend to put yourself out there a little bit, just because people do want to build a connection with the actual influencer. So those are just some things to consider when you're building your affiliate marketing website. Now, in this part of the video, we're going to import a free theme and a free starter template, and we're just going to get comfortable using the actual page builder, and I'll show you around the website. So let's go ahead now and import a kit onto your new WordPress website. Okay, so now let's go ahead and install a WordPress theme. So let's go over here to Appearance and click on Themes. Now, I personally have developed my own WordPress theme called Solace. This actually has more than 100 Elementor template kits, but since we're building a blog, I do want to recommend another theme that actually has a little bit more features for blog posts. If you are interested in this theme, you can always check it out later. It's a great theme, tons of beautiful kits. But let's click on Add Theme here at the top. And under Search Themes at the top, we're going to type in Blocksy. Bolcksy. Now, the reason why we're using the Blocksy theme is it is hands down the #1 best blogging theme for WordPress. It has so many features, and getting started with a blog with Blocksy is really simple and fast. So once you see the theme, you'll click on Install, and then let's click on Activate. All right, so once you install the theme, it'll recommend to install the Blocksy Companion. So right here, I'll click on Install Blocksy Companion. So this is the Blocksy dashboard, and now we're going to import a starter templates. So right here, I'll click on Starter Sites, and then for all plans, we'll click on Free. And the one that we're gonna use for this specific video is, you all ready? It is the Web Agency. So this is the one that I actually installed on my demo website. Now, all I really did was just change the colors, and it looks so much different than the actual demo. So under Web Agency, I'll click on Import. Now the next prompt is starting a child theme. You don't really need to do this, not unless you're coding in the actual theme. So I'll click on Next. We're going to select the Elementor Page Builder and then click on Next. We'll go ahead and install and activate these plugins. So I'll click on Next. And then we're going to install the demo content. So I'll click on Install. So just give this like 1 or 2 minutes. All right, so the starter site has imported successfully. Let's click on View Site. All right, and now we have a beautiful starter template, and at least we have something to work with, right? So scrolling down, you'll see that this website is generally catered to web design, but you can really make this cater to any type of business you want just by simply changing the images, changing the text, and you can convert this template into pretty much any type of affiliate marketing website you choose. Now, if we actually go over here to the demo website, you'll notice it looks very similar. The only thing I did here was I just changed the colors and I deleted this landing page. So essentially this right here is my landing page, and all I did here was just basically, I just changed the actual color, I changed the icons, and within like a few little changes, it looks like a completely new website, right? So yeah, congratulations. You have a really nice looking website. And if you want to see the other pages, here I'll click on Services, and we can browse around the website, right? So it looks like all of the content imported successfully. This can be something like, a services page where you can offer, services or some sort of digital products. Here's the About Us page. People do like to hear about people's adventure on how they started and everything. Even me, a lot of people ask hey, how'd you get started, Daryl? Did you just start like this? And I'm like, no, man, I started in a garage and I was blogging away and no one even found my post. It was really, really tough, right? And then also here is our blog. So this is where we can produce content, and it's a really nice standard looking blog. And just to give you an idea of what this will look like, I'll click on one of these posts, and here is an image that we can change. And then of course, just some basic content, and then people can also leave a comment there at the bottom of the post. And then also we have a contact form if you want to leave this on your website. If you are running a pure affiliate marketing website, I probably would take it off. But if you're selling a product or service, I definitely recommend to leave it on. But let's go back to our home page. Now, before we use the page builder, we need to enable one setting in the Elementor settings. So let's go over here to Dashboard. We're gonna go to Elementor and click on Tools. All we're gonna do right here is click on Recreate Kit. This essentially creates a kit. It's basically like a template where you can work with Elementor. This really only was required for Blocksy. So you just gotta click that button and click on Save Changes. Once we do that, you'll see that we can now go ahead and edit the websites. So let's click on Visit Site. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm gonna walk you through how to design your affiliate marketing website. It's very important to have a nice affiliate marketing website. So, it's like a brand, it's like a representation of yourself. So you really wanna make sure it looks really good. So in this part of the video, I'll be showing you how to design your website using the drag and drop page builder called Elementor. Y'all ready? Let's go. Okay, so let me give you all a 15-minute crash course on how to use the Elementor page builder. Now, I like to start from scratch, so let's create a brand new page. So to create a page up here under plus new, I'll click on page. And for the title, I'll just put demo. At the top right, I'll click on Publish and Publish. And then I'll click on Edit with Elementor, and this will turn on the page builder. Now there is one option we need to select to get rid of this title. Here under this gear icon under page settings, I want to make this full width, right? So for page layouts, I just want to change this to Elementor full width. Essentially, all I'm saying is I want the page builder to do all of the work here and none of the theme. Okay, so this is the Elementor UI. Now on the left side, we have layouts where these are essentially columns that you can add on your website. And these are elements, and you can drag and drop these elements onto the page. These are the basic elements. Below that, we have pro elements, but we're not going to use these, so I'll collapse that. Then we also have some general free elements that you can also use on your websites. And then also they have some basic WordPress elements, which are kind of depreciated. No one really uses those no more, to be honest. So let me walk you through this, right? So right here, we have this plus icon, and now we have two different layouts. We have Flexbox, and we also have the grid layout. Most people use Flexbox, so we're just going to stick with this one for now. I'll click on Flexbox, and then we have these structures. I'll talk more about these down and right arrows in a little bit, but let's just go ahead and select a 2-column row, right? So now we have 2 columns. Here at the top right, I'll click on Add Elements, and now we can drag and drop elements onto the page. So I'll take this heading, right? And I'll drop it right here where you see that pink line, right? I'll drop it. And then there's the elements. So for every element, we have 3 different tabs. We have the Content tab. This controls the actual content in the actual elements. And then we have the Styling tab. This controls things like the font, the color, and the size of the elements. Go ahead and close these pop-ups, right? And then we have the Advanced tab. This controls things like margin and padding, where you can add in like space around your elements. And you can also add in really cool things like motion effects. So right here under motion effects, if we click on this, we can give these like animations, right? Right, it's like bounce in, that's kind of weird. Slide and right. And of course, you can add all of these for all of your elements. But I'll go ahead and click on Content. Now, let's say you want to add in more elements. So for example, I'll change this to, Daryl Wilson. Okay, Daryl Wilson. I got a new keyboard, guys, so I might type things wrong sometimes. My bad. So I'll click on Add Elements. And let's say, for instance, you want to drag an image. I'll take this image and I'll drag and drop it right here. And then we can choose an image. Now here, I'll click on Media Library, and these are images that were automatically uploaded when we imported the demo content. If you want to upload your own image, you'll click on Upload Files, and then here you can just upload any image on your computer. I'll go ahead and close that, but I'll just use the Media Library for now. So let's select this guy right here. He's having a good day. So I'll click on Select, and there we go. We got Daryl Wilson. Now to add in more elements, here I'll click on Add Elements. And let's say, for instance, you want to add in more elements. I'll take this text editor, I'll drag it below the image. And then right here, once it propagates, we can go ahead and, insert content. Here, click on plus elements and maybe a button here below that. And then obviously, if you want to link this to a part of your website, under link, all you got to do is just type in the name of the page. So contact. And voila, look at that. Elementor automatically links this button to the contact page. And for the style, if you want to change the color of this, under the color right here, I'll click on color. And then here you can see we can add a color for that button. And then obviously we can go to typography and also change the fonts. I love Poppins. I think Poppins is a great font. I really like this font when you bold it. So I think that looks really like crisp. So yeah, that's how we can basically use these elements and drag and drop them onto the page. Now for every element, you can also right click and duplicate it. So for example, I'll right click on this, I can duplicate it, and I can also right click and delete. So I'll tell you what, I'll right click on this, I'll duplicate it, and then we can drag and drop this onto the other column. Same thing with this image. I can right click this, duplicate, and then drag this into the next column. And the same thing for these other elements. So as you can tell, it's a very fluid builder, right? It's really easy to just kind of drag things around and just kind of, build your website the way you want. Now, we can also go ahead and duplicate columns and also sections. So for example, I'll right click on this column right here and also duplicate this, right? So now we have 3 columns, and under these pink dots right here, we can actually duplicate the entire container. So I'll right click on this and duplicate that, and voila, now we have a new section that we duplicated. Really simple, right? Now to delete a section, I'll go ahead and delete this, And then I'll also delete this as well. So just to make sure that we have enough knowledge about this page builder, let's just go ahead and quickly kind of make something that looks like this, right? This is a very standard page where we have, some text, 2 buttons, and then we have an image on the right side. I think many of you are going to have a website that looks like this because today, many of these websites follow this same format. So let's do it. Here under the plus, we'll click on Flexbox and we'll do 2 columns again. But this time we're just going to drag a text editor and I'll just go ahead and just, hide some content there, right? It's like more of just like content to introduce the heading text, right? That's all it really is, right? So I'll just go ahead and delete some of that. And I think we're all good to go. Next, we'll take heading, and this will be the main heading of your actual landing page. So I'm gonna change mine to, create your WordPress website with Daryl Wilson. And then under the style, we can, adjust this. We can make this a little bit bigger, like that. And then also we can change this font. I don't like this font that we got going on here. I like Poppins better. And yeah. Now, one thing also is I can actually take this column and I can make more space like that. So if you want to do that, you can also go that route. All right, looking good. And then we're going to go ahead and take another text editor and drop it here. And then below that, we're going to have 2 buttons. Now, this is where the Flexbox come into play. Many users are very confused about the Flexbox, and I'll explain why it's needed. So let's say, for instance, you want to duplicate that design that I did, but if we take a button and drop it, right, and we duplicate it, you're going to notice that I can't, put these side by side, right? There's no option here to put these side by side, and that's where we need to use the Flexbox. So really quick, I'll go ahead and delete these, and we're going to introduce a new row. We're going to add a container. So right here in a container, we'll drop it right there, right? And then I'll click on add elements. And now we're gonna throw in some buttons here. I'll also duplicate this. And then I'm gonna style these just so that we know the difference. So I'm gonna make this one black and I'll make the other one red. So this one's black and this one over here is gonna be red. Now we can use the Flexbox to position these. So right here, I'll click on container. And I bet you're wondering, Daryl, that's a lot of controls, this looks complicated. It's actually really simple. So for example, let's say I want to actually position these horizontal from one another. Here, I'll click on horizontal, and now you'll see that they're horizontal. And then for the justified content, we can change the position. So we can put this in the centered, the end, space between, space around, or space evenly. We can also manually add in gaps. So I think right here, sorry, we'll change this back to center. We can actually manually add in gaps like this if you want to go that route, right? Okay. But align items, this will make more sense with another example because this actually applies when we're actually, when we're actually editing all of the elements, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. But yeah, so you can actually choose where you want these elements positioned using the Flexbox, and that makes it really handy. Now, let's say for instance, we want to change the size of this. This is really scrunched. So for this container right here, I want to add in more width. So we're going to push a little bit more width like that. Now, I also want this section a little bigger. So for these pink dots, I want to control the actual landing page, right? So right here under minimum heights, it says to achieve full container, use 100 VH. VH is just a way to, it's like pixels kind of, right? So you'll get the hang of this. So for example, you'll see the minimum heights, I'm pushing it, and now you see the pink line stretching. So now we're basically deciding, how large we want this landing page. I think 80 is very standard, so I'm gonna select 80, and this will allow you to control like how large you want your landing page. Now let's jump back to the Flexbox again. So here, I'm gonna click on the Flexbox. Now notice how I'm controlling these elements now inside of this container. And now what we can do is we can position these elements using the Flexbox. So right here under justify content, I wanna put this in the center. We can also put it at the ends or the center. And you can basically use the Flexbox to manipulate the elements, which makes things a lot easier, right? You can also go ahead and manually add in a gap if you wanna go that route. I think something like 30 would be good. I do like this. So now let's just add an image on the right side, and I think we're all ready to rock and roll. Here under add elements, we'll take an image and we'll just throw in an image. Where's Daryl Wilson at? Let's put this guy here, right? All right. All right, there you go. Look at that landing page. Congratulations. I mean, that looks sharp. In just a few seconds, we made a really nice looking landing page, and it looks very similar to mine in a lot of regards. Not exactly the same way, but it has the same exact structure. And all this really needs is just a little bit more design emphasis, and you'll be good to go. Now, there's one more thing that I want to show you all, and that's how to add in a background color and also some design to your background. So under this 6 dots, you'll click on Edit Container. Under Style, we can go to Background Type, and we can add in like a very small color. We can add a really subtle color to our background here, right? If you want to go that route, or you can just add a full-blown image. So for instance, if you want to throw in this image here, you'll see that you can add an image. Obviously, we should probably change the text color to white, but that's how you can add an image for your background if you want to go that route. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove this. Now, if you want to make a new section, all you got to do is just click on plus, Flexbox, and then you can start all over again. So now that you understand the Flexbox, now you understand what these arrows mean, right? So essentially, any element that you add will be stacked horizontal from one another. There are some ways to use this. I'm not really sure if you should be using this as a beginner, but there are a lot of ways on how you can use it. For example, if I put an image right here and another one, and another one, you'll notice that the images stack side by side. So if you want to go that route, you can put in images of your company, or maybe, you know, talk about your services or your portfolio. So now that we have some general knowledge about Elementor, let's go ahead now and jump back to the home page. So we're going to go ahead and just delete all of this, and we're just going to, you know, this was our practice page, guys. So we're gonna delete all this information, and then we're just going to, I don't know, we can publish it or exit out or whatever. You can delete the page. But what we're going to do now is we're going to view the page, right? And jump back to our home. And now we're going to work on the home page. So at the top, let's click on Edit with Elementor. Okay, so for the landing page, all you got to do here is just click on one of these elements, and then you can go ahead and change the title. Now this BR right here is it's like a trick where you can actually put the text on the next line, right? So if you put bracket BR, it places the next text below the actual heading title. So if you want to add in something like a button, we can take a button here and just drag and drop it. And then you can style it any which way you want. If you want to go ahead and use the actual elements on this page, you can also use these, you know, you can duplicate them and you can, you know, mix and match them and build it however you'd like. So let's go ahead and scroll down. Now for my website over here, all I really did was I just deleted this landing page. I didn't really like it too much. I wanted something more that just showcased like my skills. So for my example, I just use this as a landing page, right? But if you do want to keep that landing page, you're more than welcome to. And then all I really did here was under the 6 dots, under the advanced section, I just didn't like so much space down here. So I got rid of the space. So to get rid of the space, you'll see that, you know, we can just get rid of the space. And then let's say, for instance, you want to put a button over here. All you got to do is just, you know, duplicate this button and then maybe drag it below here and then voila. And if you want to position this, we can just put this in the center. So yeah, it's a very fluid builder. It's very simple to work with. Now these images right here are actually background images. So this is a small trick. In order to adjust these images, you have to click on the actual row right here and go to Style. Some designers like to actually use the background as an image because it's better on mobile devices. So it's just more responsive. So if you want to change this image, you can change this to, you know, something else. If you don't want these, you can always just right click and delete them, right? So don't feel afraid to, you know, mess with your website or to change things. Now, let's say, for example, you made a mistake. Let's say, for example, you deleted this, you dragged this over here, and, you know, the website looks terrible. You're just like, what happened, Earl? You know, my website looks really bad. What's going on? You can always go back into the history. So for example, here, click on the Elementor tab, and then we have this history button. This allows you to go back into any part of when you're editing your websites and adjust it to when you were building it. So for example, you see that button, we can change it back to when we didn't even have the button. So if you do make errors, don't panic. You can always go back into the history and fix anything that you've done. And to go back into the actual editor, you'll click on the Add Elements, and then you're brought back to square one. Now to add in a section in between any of these sections, all you got to do is click on the plus here, and the flex box, and then you can go ahead and build this section again as usual, right? So you can throw in an image here, And then also you can make this larger now that we know how to use the minimum height. Now, if you want to learn more about Elementor, I do have a dedicated video in the description of this tutorial. I don't really want to focus too much on Elementor because there is a lot that you can do with this builder, but I think you have a general idea of how to use elements, drag and drop them, and build a website from scratch with ease. Now, really quick, this blog right here, this is actually being propagated with the Blocksy shortcodes. So if I click on this pencil right here, you'll see Blocksy post limit 3. Essentially, all this does here is Blocksy has shortcodes where you can enable how many blog posts you want on the page. For example, if I change this to something like 2, you'll see that only 2 blog posts show up. If we put 1, then only 1 blog post shows up. So once you build more blog posts, you can actually take this shortcode, maybe add 6, and then all of the blog posts will be displayed right here in a really nice clean format. Now, all of your blog posts will automatically be sent to your blog, but if you want to showcase them on other parts of your website, this is how you can do it by inserting this shortcode. Now, to save all of your changes, here at the top, I'll click on Publish, and this will save all the changes that you've done to your websites. Now, to exit out of the editor, all you gotta do is click on this arrow and click on View Page. And voila. So now you'll see that all the changes that we made on this website are live, right? So here's that button that we added. And scrolling down, you know, here is the image that we adjusted, and all the changes that you made on this website are now live on the internet. So congratulations, you are an Elementor somewhat pro, right? You're getting there. As you can tell, the page builder is quite simple, and with a little bit of practice, you'll be a pro in no time. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna talk about is how to create pages and also how to add them to the menu. Now, really quick, let's go over here to the dashboard. Now, we did make a page earlier called Demo. So this was the page that we actually, we're practicing on. Now, if you want to create a page here under Add a Page, I'll click on Add Page. And this can be something like my staff, right? Or staff. I'll click on Publish and Publish. And let's say, for instance, you just want to, add a quick page for your staff. Here, I'll just use the Elementor AI. Now, I don't really recommend the Elementor AI because it doesn't really give you what you want all the time, and you're going to spend a lot of the time wasting credits when you could have just built it yourself. But I'll just give you a quick little demonstration. Create me a staff page for my 3 staff. And then once we do that, you'll see that the AI generated these 3 sections. So we have meet our team, and then they have this one with the different formats. And then this one here is using Pro Elements. So I'll just select the middle one right here and then click on Use Layouts. So that's a quick way on how you all can just make a quick page or a quick meet our team page using the Elementor AI. And then all you got to do is just change these images to your staff. So now I'll go ahead and just publish this page. So I'll click on Publish. And now it's added to the menu. So let's go back over here to WordPress. Click on the WordPress logo. And then under Appearance, let's click on Menus. So this is the default menu that was created automatically when we imported the template kits. Now here I'll click on View All, which shows all the pages. And then right here we have the staff page. I'll click on Add to Menu. And then we can drag and drop this. Now, if you want a drop-down menu, all you gotta do is just put it below the actual page. And now this creates a drop-down menu. To save the changes, you'll click on Save Menu here at the bottom. And then we can take a look at our menu. And voila, so now we have that services page with the About Us drop-down. And then here we have the staff page, and this was all created using the Elementor AI. So that's how you can create pages and also add them to the menu. Okay, so now let's jump into the WordPress theme customizer. Now here at the top, you'll see this customize button. Go ahead and click on customize. Now every WordPress theme has their own theme customizer with their own specific theme settings and options. And I feel that Blocksy offers the most in the free version, and it's great for affiliate marketing blogs. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is the header builder. Now, the header builder pretty much allows you to build the header here exactly how you want. For example, if you want to add in, a social icons, here I'll put it on this top. Now here you'll see that we have 3 rows. We have the top row, the main row, and then we have the bottom row. You can choose to have up to 3 rows for your header. So you'll see we have row 1, row 2, and row 3. And you can rearrange these exactly how you would like, right? Now, if you ever want to like adjust something on one of these elements, you'll just click on the actual element, and then you'll see the general and then also the design tab. This allows you to change some of the general options for the elements. And then for the design tab, you can go ahead and change the things like the color. You can add in a hover, you can add in a transparent menu, or pretty much anything that you would like to design with using the design settings. Now, this applies for all elements. So for example, if we click on logo, here you can upload a logo for your website, and then also you can further design it using margin. Now, let's say for instance, you want to add your own logo. You'll just click on the actual logo here, and then you can just upload it. So let's say this is your logo. And then voila, now you have a brand new logo. If you do need a logo, I highly recommend to go to Fiverr.com. I'll leave a link in the video description where you can get a logo for as little as $5. It's an amazing website. Now, also here you can change the height of the logo so you can make it larger. So Blocksy does offer a lot of unique features available in the free version. Now, let's say for instance, you want to change the color. So for example, here click on main row and go to design. And then here we have the default states where we can change it to like red or something else. You can also give it a gradient, and you can also even upload your own image if you want to go that route. Pretty cool, right? They have a lot of cool options here in the design settings. Now, let's go back to the, click on back here. So at any time, if you want to add in more elements, you can just drag and drop them onto the page. Now, this theme actually does have a pro version where they have a lot more elements. If you are interested, I'll leave a link below, but honestly, you don't need it to get started with. But it is just nice to know that you can upgrade and get a lot more elements in the WordPress theme customizer. So this is the header builder, pretty self-explanatory, right? Now let's click on back. Now we also have a footer builder. So pretty much exactly how we built the header, you can also build the footer of your websites. Now the footer works a little differently, and they have something called widgets. Now widgets are essentially loaded by the WordPress backend. So it's basically native to Gutenberg, which is the default editor. And what you can do is you can add in widgets. So for example, here I'll click on widget area 1. And here is a list of elements you can add to your footer. So let's say you want to add in like buttons, or you want to add in like a video player, or you can also add in products if you install WooCommerce. So I'll click on buttons here, and then you'll see that this button displays, right? So we need to add in some text. This will be something like, and if I click on this button, we can then link to a specific page or product or whatever. That's just basically how this works. And you can add in more elements to your liking. So I can click on add block, and then you can add in as many elements as you want for your footer. Now, to be honest, Blocksy did a very good job at creating a default footer. The footer can be a little difficult because you're forced to use the elements using Gutenberg. And let's be real, everyone hates Gutenberg. So yeah. And this right here is actually just links right here. So this is a text module. And what they did was they just, they basically just created this service text, and then they just created a hyperlink for that text. So for example, I'll show you how to replicate this. I'll press enter here, and let's say you want to link them to our staff page. So I'll put staff. And then what they did was they double clicked on this, clicked on insert link, and then they enter the page for the staff. Now, I'm not sure if Gutenberg actually pulls this up automatically. Oh, they do, cool. So there's the staff page, and then I'll click on apply. So now when users click on staff, it'll take them to the staff page. Now you can go ahead and add in as many elements as you would like, or as many widgets, but I feel like something like this is just, this is very standard, and don't get too crazy with the footer because it's a quick way on how to make your website look really tacky. So that is a general rundown of the footer builder. On your own free time, feel free to explore it. You can add in some more like social icons or whatever, and you'll see they pop up right there, and you can customize this to your liking. So now let's go ahead and jump into the actual blog. Now, really quickly, there is a misconception here that the blog post only shows up on the home page. No, actually the blog page shows up on the blog page right here. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is if you deleted your blog page, or if you want to assign a blog page to any page, right here under homepage settings, here we have homepage, and then we have post page. So the first example is if I click on this home right here and I put demo, this essentially is now my new homepage. So when people actually go to this specific page, here I'll use another one as an example here. Let's say, for example, I want to make the About Us page as our primary homepage, where if someone types in daryltutorial.com, it'll take them to this specific page. So this is how you can always switch the homepage for your websites. Now, the same thing applies for your blog posts. So all of the posts will be displayed on the blog page right here, okay? So whenever you make a post, it'll be automatically propagated onto this page right here, which is your blog page. So that's how you can assign a specific blog page for your websites. Now let's go ahead and scroll back here and let's talk about one of the more important aspects, and that is the actual blog page itself. So right here we have post type, and then we have blog post. So this is where you can adjust the actual blog page. So for example, if you want to change the formats, you can select one of these different formats here, right? And they have a variety of formats that you can choose from. And yeah, some of these look pretty cool. Now, it doesn't really matter too much about this page because a lot of visitors are going to find your blog through the Google search results and they may never even see this page. So that's one thing to consider. If you want to adjust this section, you'll click on Edit, and here you can adjust it to maybe type 1 or type 2. Then for the title, if you want, you can go ahead and adjust this section right here if you want to go that route. And scrolling down, there's a few more design options. Here on the design tab, if you want to change the fonts and colors, you can do that from right here. Now, the blog page works a little weird. I'll admit it's a little weird. If you actually want to adjust the content on this page, you need to do it from the back end. So I'll click on X and I'll exit out of the theme customizer. I'll click on the blog page and then I'll click on Edit Page. So this is the name of your actual blog page. So if you want to change this, you'll put news, right? Maybe news. And then here you see this edit excerpt. This is actually what appears below the actual title on the front page. I'll just throw in some demo contents and then I'll click on save. Here I'll click on view page and then you'll see the page adjust, right? So if you do want to adjust the title, that's how you would do it. Now let's quickly go ahead and open up the theme customizer. So I've shown you all how to edit this page right here, but we can also edit the single post page. So I'll click on single post and let's go ahead and click on one of these pages. So this is going to be the general formats of all of your blog posts. Now, if you ever want to change this right here, you can change this to normal width. You can add a left sidebar or a right sidebar. And then also you can make this boxed, which gives it a little bit more of a boxed approach. I do like this better. I feel like it's easier on the eye. And then also you can choose to add in like a sidebar. We'll talk more about how to incorporate it in just a bit. Here is some more design options where you can change the color of the actual background if you don't want a white background. And there's general more styling options. Now this right here is very important. So the post elements, if you do not want specific elements, or if you want elements to show, you'll go ahead and uncheck these boxes or check them. So for example, if you want the share box, the author box, and the post navigation, we'll turn those on, and those appear at the bottom. So now you'll see that the actual author appears right here. We have the share boxes, and then also we have the post navigation, which is this right here at the bottom. If you want to add in related posts, you'll see I'll turn that on, and it appears right here as well. I do recommend to turn these on, maybe not the author box, but definitely the post navigation and the related posts. If you do want to check out more features for each of these elements, you'll click on this arrow, and there's a lot more options for each of these elements where you can change the style and also the color of all of these elements. So as you can tell, right, there is a lot of elements that this theme offers in the free version, which is good for us, right? Now let's say, for instance, you want to change the title of this specific post. Here in our post title, we have type 1 and then also we have type 2. So I like this style a little bit better. Now, if you do not want things to show up like the breadcrumbs or the excerpts or the post meta, you can click on this eye right here and that'll hide the post meta. So now it's gone. If you want it to showcase, you'll go ahead and turn that on and now it's right there. You can also adjust things like the alignment right here and also spacing. And then for the design, you can, further customize this to your liking. Makes sense? Okay. So on your own free time, feel free to customize this blog page to your liking. I think something like this is very standard. Or if you don't want the actual sidebar, you can always turn that off in the customizer settings by going back here under the general and just making this normal width. But now that we've done that, you can also customize the category pages. So later on, when we make posts, you can actually design the category pages. Essentially, these are categories on your blog post. For example, this right here is the agency category. Now, this is a category and all the agency articles will be displayed right here. If you do want to adjust the layout for your categories, you can also further customize all of the articles in the category section using these settings. And then we're going to add in widgets for our sidebar. Now this is a little weird, but let me walk you through this. So we can get there two ways, by going over here and clicking on widgets, or I'll click on dashboard, and then we go down to appearance and then widgets. It brings you to the same area. Now, if you decided to add a sidebar, you'll close this, you can fully add more features right here. So for example, this is the main sidebar of our blog page. Now here we have recent posts, recent comments, archive, categories, and also meta. I want to get rid of meta. No one uses that. And let's say you want to add in a new section. Right here, I'll click on plus, and then I'll click on browse all. And remember earlier how we customized the footer? You have all of the same blocks right here that you can add on the sidebar of your websites. Now later on, we're going to install plugins that will actually embed like a contact form and a sign up newsletter, but we don't have it for now, but we'll install it later. So for instance, if you want to add in like a share box, here I'll put in a share box, right? So people can share this, right? Now let's say for instance, you wanted to also add in maybe like an affiliate banner right here. So I'll search for something like image, and here I'll click on image and I'll upload an image. Now I'll show you more about how to get banners a little bit later. When you sign up for programs, they typically give you banners you can use on your website, but I think we have a Hostinger banner right here. And then all you need to do is place your affiliate link inside. So right here, I'll click on link, and my affiliate link is https://darylwilson.com/Hostinger. So when someone clicks on this specific banner and they buy something, I can make a commission using this image on my sidebar. So once you decide to, adjust your sidebar, I do want to get rid of this though, and also recent comments. I think these are really ugly. I think we'll keep recent posts. I think that's good. And also the search categories. I don't think we need that, but I'll just leave it anyways. So then I'll click on updates. So here is our blog page. And then you'll see on the right side, the changes have now adjusted, where if someone were to click on, this banner right here, and if they were to buy something, I would then make a commission of the sale. So that's where bringing traffic can really come in handy, because you can put all of your offers right here on the sidebar. Okay, so that is a general overview about how you would actually use the actual theme customizer to design various parts of your websites. Now, the last thing that I want to show you all is just how to create a blog post. So we're going to talk more about this a little bit later, but to create a blog post, you can do it from right here under plus new and post. However, you can also do it from the back end. So right here under dashboard, under post, I'll click on all posts. And here is all of the demo content that was created for us automatically. Now, if you ever want to create a post, all you got to do is click on add post. And then right here, you can go ahead and add a title for your article. So I'll put in something like Omnisend review. And then here you can just go ahead and type away. Now this also uses the Gutenberg elements. So for example, here under the plus, if you want to add in something like a block, or you want to add in a button, you can go ahead and add them right here. And then those elements display. If you also want to add in an image or something like that, there's a faster way to do it. If you type in dash image, you can just go ahead and select the image and then upload it in your article. So right here, media library, put this chick. And then for example, I'll just throw in some demo contents. And voila. So now you'll see I quickly generated this blog post. And just by looking at this, you can see it's really easy on the eye. It looks good. I love these little black boxes that me and my designer, we created. I just find that it really stands out from other blogs. So I'll show you exactly how to create high value posts like this that look amazing. And here is the article. We have our featured image, we have our title, and then here we have the actual article, which looks fantastic. Now, if I click on news, you'll see the featured image also automatically displays right here in the news section. So all of the articles you create will be automatically sent right here on your blog page. All right, now the very last thing that I want to talk about before we go on to the next section is this contact form. So if we click on contact and we scroll down, this is being propagated by a plugin called WP Forms. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this plugin, but I do have two tutorials that'll show you how to use it. Also, if you find that you're using this and you're not getting the emails or they're going to spam, you can watch this video where we show you how to incorporate an SMTP, which forces all the emails to go directly to your email inbox. It's completely free and it's only about 8 minutes. So that's if you want to incorporate a contact form on your affiliate marketing blog. So in this next section of the video, I'll be showing you how to integrate the proper SEO tools. So we're first going to install an SEO plugin. We're also going to integrate Google Search Console and also the Google Analytics. We're also going to install an affiliate link tracker that can basically track how many times people are clicking on our affiliate links. So in this part of the video, we're going to be integrating all of the SEO tools for your affiliate marketing website. Let's go. Now we're going to install a few plugins here. So we're first going to install an SEO plugin. After we do that, we're then going to link our website with Google. Therefore, we can let them know our website's live on the internet, and we can also check the traffic of our websites. We're then going to install an affiliate link tracker. This way, when you get affiliate links, instead of those really ugly long links, you can make it like your website dash Omnisend or dash SEMrush or whatever it is you want to promote. Then we're going to install an email capture plugin where we can then capture email leads on our websites. So let's go ahead and head back to our website. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to install an SEO plugin. Now there are several out there and I personally like to use Rank Math for them. I think Rank Math is a great plugin. So here under the under plugins, let's click on add new. And for search plugins, we're going to type in Rank Math. Okay, now here's the plugin we're going to install. So right here, I'll click on install now and I'll click on activate. Essentially what Rank Math does is it allows us to index our website in the search results the way we want it displayed. So it's very important to install this plugin. Now we can skip this. We don't need to make a free account with Rank Math. So right here, I'll click on skip now. Now to get started with, let's click on easy. So I'll click on easy and then click on Start Wizard. So next they're going to ask us a few basic questions. So your website is what? Is it a personal blog? Is it a web shop? Or is it a business website? We're going to select personal blog. Here I'll put in the website name. If you have an alternative name, you can add it right here as well. If you have someone running your website, like myself, I am an influencer. So Daryl Wilson is running darylwilson.com. You'll go ahead and put in the name of the person here, or if it's an organization, you'll put it there as well. Now here you'll go ahead and put in your logo. Now this is very important because logos are now popping up in the Google search results. So if you want your website to have a really nice, cool looking logo in the results, you'll go ahead and upload your logo right here. Now, if someone shares your website on a social network, what image do you want to display to represent your website? Well, here I'll go ahead and just grab an image, right? I'll put this one here, right? So when someone shares my website to a social network, this image will be displayed by default. So just make sure it's an image that represents your business. If you don't have anything right now, you can just leave it blank and it'll just share a link to your website and not the image. So click on Save and Continue. Next, they're asking us to incorporate Google services. We're not going to do this. So we're going to click on Save and Continue. And our site is ready. Well, kinda, not really. Now here you can enable auto update. I do actually recommend to turn this on. I typically don't recommend automatic updates, but for SEO plugins, sometimes they're critical updates. So here is the general options for the Rank Math plugin. Now I have a tutorial on this plugin in another video, but we're just gonna go through the most important options, which is the post and page settings. Now the first thing that I wanna do is click on titles and metas. This is probably one of the most important parts of this plugin. Now, when you create a page or post, you want it to display a specific way by default. So right here we have posts. So here we have single post title. This displays the title of the actual post, separator, and then also site name. I personally like title for blog posts. I don't really feel like adding your name of your website is really relevant when it comes to posts. So for posts, I just recommend to only have title and excerpt. Excerpt will take a snippet of the actual article and inject it in the search results, and title will only display the title of your actual blog post for the search results. This way, it's a lot more clear and concise, so users will probably click on this more. And if you have like your dash website, it just creates a really long, ugly, link that people don't like to see in the results. So once you change this to title and excerpt, we'll scroll to the bottom and click on Save Changes. Now you can also do this for pages as well. It's really not that important, to be honest, for pages. Now for pages, I do recommend to actually go to each page and update it individually. But for pages, what we're going to do is also do the same thing. So just put title and excerpt, scroll to the bottom, and click on Save Changes. Now there is one very important thing that we need to do, and that's to change the homepage SEO settings. So let's go to our homepage right here, and this time, let's click on Edit Page. Okay, so once you install the plugin, here on the right side, you'll see this rank math box. I'll click on this, and then I'll click on Edit Snippets. So as of right now, this is how our website looks like in the search results. It looks terrible, right? So we need to create something that represents our website. So in this specific case, I'll just imagine that I am an affiliate website that promotes SaaS products or software products, right? So I'm gonna put, so here we go. I went ahead and I added a really nice title. So we put Daryl's Reviews, home of the best SaaS tool reviews. And then for the description, you do want to put some description that best represents your website. Now this is important because you want to put keywords in here that let Google know what your website is really all about. So here I'll put in some description. So I'm over here at ChatGPT and I'll ask AI to create some content. So I went ahead and I put create some SEO description for my SaaS review affiliate websites. Here I'll press on enter, and then I'll go ahead and take some of this right here, right? So I'll just go ahead and take this, go back and paste that in. So here we have a lot of keywords that we're aiming for: SaaS tools, reviews, and SaaS platforms. Now here, click on social, and these are the images that represent your website when it's shared on social networks. If you do want to change this, you'll click on add image, and you can also adjust the title and description for each network if you choose to do so. So make sure that you do this for all of your pages, okay? You don't have to do this for your posts, but you do need to do this for all of your pages. So once you're done adjusting this, I'll click on close and save. Now it generally takes anywhere between 7 to 10 days for this to actually reflect in the search results. So if you change it right now and it doesn't work, don't panic, okay? It does take time for this to actually reflect. So you need to do the same thing for your blog page as well. This is actually critical. So for example, click on the rank math and then click on edit snippets. And then you'll see it just takes whatever that we put in for the title and also the excerpt, but we can create something better for the search results. So here I put Daryl's affiliate blog, learn all about SaaS tools. And then here, maybe we can just throw in some other, other SEO description. And I constantly want to put in keywords that represent like SaaS tools and reviews, because Google's going to slowly pick up on a lot of our pages and our SEO description. And once they see that our website is about a specific topic, they're going to rank it higher when a user types something in like SaaS review tools or review tools for, the best platform for SaaS products or something like that, right? So you do want to keep adding in these keywords throughout your website to let Google know what your website is about. Now, once you enter in the title and description, you'll then click on save. So go through all of your pages and make sure that you do edit the SEO description for all the pages on your website. Now, the Rank Math plugin doesn't just allow you to create titles and description, it also generates a sitemap for your website, and it also allows you to integrate the Google Search Console and other social networks. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry, we're gonna integrate those tools right now. So let's go over here to our dashboard. And the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're now going to integrate Google Analytics. Now, if you do not have a Google Analytics account, you can create one for free in the back end right here. So over here under plugins, I'll click on add plugin, and we're going to install a plugin called Google Site Kit. Okay, so these are 3 words, Google Site Kit, and then you're gonna see this plugin right here has more than 5 million active installs. So you'll click on install now, and then you'll click on activate. Okay, now you can choose to actually go to Google Analytics and make an account, or you can just do it right here from the back end. Now, if you already have a Google Analytics account, you can actually just link it right here by logging on with your Gmail account through the plugin. So I'll click on Start Setup, and here I'll click on Connect Google Analytics as part of your setup, and then I'll click on Sign in with Google. I'll click on Continue. I'll click on Continue again. Now we have to verify ownership of this website. So click on Verify. Next, I'll turn on Allow, which turns on metrics in my dashboard. This way we can actually check out everything from the back end instead of actually going to Google and entering our credentials and stuff like that. So here I'll click on Setup. So next it'll display a list of accounts that we have in that specific Gmail account. Now, obviously we don't have one, so we can just click on Set up a new account from right here. So here I'll put in the name of my website, the property, and then here we have the data stream. You'll put the country and the time zone, and then click on Create Accounts. So next it'll bring us to the terms and conditions, and we do need to accept these terms of service. So I'll click on I accept, scroll down here. I'm sure all of you guys are gonna read all of this, all this stuff right here, right? Next is talking about data sharing services. I'm not really going to use any of these, so I'm just gonna put I accept and then click on I accept. I don't really want to incorporate any of the services in my feed. Now click on go to dashboard. And that's it. Congratulations. So now we've successfully incorporated Google Analytics onto our WordPress websites. Now this might take up to 48 hours and you're going to start seeing all of the traffic from your websites. You're going to see what country, the gender, and how many people are coming to your website right here from the backend using this plugin. Super simple, right? I mean, I remember incorporating Google Analytics like 10 years ago was like a nightmare. You had to inject like a piece of code into a specific part of your theme and then it didn't work. And then the caching had problems. It was like a nightmare, but now things are just like so much easier, right? So here I'll click on got it. And now we've actually incorporated Google Analytics. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to incorporate the Google Search Console. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Google and we're going to type in Google Search Console. Okay. Now we're going to click on the very first link and then I'll click on Start Now. So now I've logged in with my Daryl Porto account and under Search Property, we're going to add a property now. So I'll click on Add a Property and we're going to put in the name of our websites. So you're going to put in the name of your website, right? So I'm super lazy to type. So I'll copy this and we're going to paste it in the URL prefix. Make sure you do it in this one. This one's actually a lot harder because you have to update your DNS records, which takes a long time. So over here, I'll paste this in and then click on continue. All right. Now my website was actually verified. Pretty cool. So here, click on go to property. Now there's one more important thing that we need to do before we do anything else, and that's to submit our sitemap. Now a sitemap basically tells Google what a page is, what a post is, what a category is. It's essentially a roadmap for our websites, and it tells Google what to crawl and what not to crawl. So let's go back to our SEO settings, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna find our sitemap, and they do move it around, but I think right here it's here. So sitemap settings. And here's our sitemap. So if I click on this right here, this is our sitemap, right? Yeah, so just posts, pages, and categories. That's all we really want people on the internet to know about. So we're gonna take this link right here, and now we're gonna integrate it with the Google Search Console. So going over here to Overview, I'll click on Sitemaps, and we're gonna paste that in. Now just remember, all you need is the sitemap underscore index.xml. Then click on submit. All right, so click on dismiss. Now it always says couldn't fetch on the first time. It always says this, right? Now I'm gonna refresh the page. I'm not gonna edit the video. Success, look at that, all right. It does that all the time. I don't know why, but now that we've submitted our sitemap, we're basically inviting Google to index our website and to basically throw it in the search results. So now we're basically saying we're ready to rock and roll, So that was pretty much all of the technical jargon for SEO. If you didn't understand what this is, like the sitemap and the Search Console, don't worry about it because you will never have to come back to it ever again, right? Pretty cool. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to install an affiliate link plugin. Now we're going to use the same one that I use. So over here under plugins, I'll click on add new plugin. And for search plugins, we're gonna type in pretty links. Pretty links. Okay. Here's the plugin, and we're going to click on install now, and then we'll click on activate. Now we don't really need to go any further here, so we can actually just go over here and click on pretty links. And here you can always add a pretty link. Now let me just give you a quick example of what this does, because you might be curious as to why we installed it. Okay, so this is my affiliate account with Impact, right? Now let's say, for example, you want to promote a specific product or service. So right here, we have a list of affiliate programs. What the hell is MapGeek? I've never even seen this program I'm joining, whatever. Anyways, I'll just click on MapGeek and click on create. Now what this platform does is they take this link right here, and this is my new affiliate link. So if someone were to buy something from this specific link, I would make a commission. What we do is we go to our page over here and we type in the name of the program. So this was MapGeek, which I never even heard about. I swear this was like not on my script at all. Like I'm just totally like curious as to what it is, Now for the redirection, I'm gonna put permanents. We're gonna paste that in right there, and then we're gonna type in MapGeek. You can use the underscore or the dash if you want to, or you can just put like Map Geek, whatever, right? Now, once you do this, I'll click on update. So what's really cool is this, this link tracker will show you how many times it was clicked. So I'll go ahead and click on copy to keyboard, and let's go over here to Google, and I'm just gonna paste this link. Now notice here how it's the name of my website, --MapGeek, and if we press enter, it redirects them through our affiliate link. So it's just a much better way to present your affiliate links instead of these really ugly, like scammy links that people probably don't trust. So if they see your websites, you know, they're more inclined to click on your link because they can see it's from a trusted source. So that is basically how you can incorporate affiliate links onto your website using the Pretty Link plugin. Now, the very last step is we're going to now integrate an email opt-in form. So let's go ahead and go over here to the plugins and go to add new. So plugins, add new. Under search plugins, we're gonna type in OmniSend. All right, and this is the plugin right here, newsletter email marketing. It's not the WooCommerce one. So this one is just basically for websites that are not running an e-commerce platform. So right here, I'll click on install now and then click on activate. Now the next step is we now need to sign up for OmniSend. Now there is a link in the video description. It'll take you to omnisend.com. It is an affiliate link, but you do get a free trial. So you don't have to pay anything whatsoever to use OmniSend. And once you click on that link, it'll take you to this page right here. And once you get to this page, you'll just click on start for free. And then you'll click on create a new account. Okay, then I'll make a password. Here I'll put my business as non-e-commerce. I agree to the terms. Then I'll click on sign up. Okay, then you'll put your first name, your last name, your business name, and then right here, you'll paste the link for your websites and then click on continue. Next is your business address. Now you can just give them a business address. Now this is actually required for email spam laws. So they do need to know that you're a real person. So I'll go ahead and put it in my business address. Okay, and once we're done, I'll click on continue to OmniSend. Okay, now the first thing that you'll do is you'll just simply connect your store. So I'll click on connect your store. We'll go ahead and scroll down, and then right here we have WordPress. Okay, and then we'll scroll down, and then here is our API key. So I'll just go ahead and click on copy API key, go back to our websites, click on OmniSend email marketing, and then I'll click on connect OmniSend. So we'll scroll down, and then right here, we're just gonna paste our key, and that's it, we're done. So then it's connected, right? Here, click on connect OmniSend, and voila, we are now connected with OmniSend. Now, OmniSend's actually really simple to work with, right? Now, email automation is usually pretty difficult, but OmniSend makes it pretty simple. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll click on automation, and then we'll click on start a workflow. And OmniSend actually automatically creates workflows for us, which is really convenient. So click on start a workflow. And that's it. So every subscriber will now receive a welcome email automatically, which is really cool. So I'll click on show my workflows. Okay, so now that we've created automation for our email, all we gotta do is just make a form for our websites. So right here, I'll click on forms. Then I'll click on view other form types. So here they have a list of specific forms. Now, if you wanna just collect subscribers, here I'll click on collect subscribers. And we can scroll down here and maybe just use this one right here. So I'll click on use template. Now you can fully design and customize this. I'm not really gonna go through in this too much, right? But you can just drag in elements and you can adjust this text to your liking. Now what I'll do right here is click on enable form. And I wanna make sure I stay on the free plan. I don't wanna pay anything just yet. You know, I wanna actually get something out of this service before I pay for it. And then you'll see that we have our form right here. So here's our website. And let's say the user navigates the page where they, go to our page right here. Here we have join the club. And now this will actually show up on your pages where users can just enter in their email. So I'll just put in like, something really quick. I'll click on join and voila, we now have our first subscriber. But now let's take a look at the OmniSend dashboard. And then we have a new contact, right? And just remember that this user is being sent a sequence of emails that you can fully customize in the automation section. So over here under automation, under the welcome email, here I'll scroll down and right here we have this email. And if you do want to design and customize this email, you can go ahead and add in more content right here. But this is where you can actually edit the entire email that is being sent to all your subscribers. So just by clicking on edit content here, you can go ahead and add in your website, you can put in your logo, and vice versa. Now, I'm not going to go too much into OmniSend because it is somewhat of a robust platform, as you can tell, and I don't want to spend an hour talking about OmniSend. But if you do want to edit your emails, that's how you can do it. But overall, I mean, that's how you can incorporate a lead capture form onto your WordPress website. There are other ways where you can incorporate the sign up form onto your blog page, but I'll leave a tutorial for OmniSend in the video description if you do want to check that out for later. So congratulations, party people. The website aspect and the tool part of this tutorial is now finished. Let's go over here to our checklist and let's check them off. SEO plugin, email capture, and the affiliate link tracker. How about that? Congratulations. We are now finished with the website setup. So now that we're done making the website and we've integrated all the proper tools, now let's talk more about the SEO strategies and ways on how we can get traffic to our affiliate marketing websites. Y'all ready? Let's go. All right, welcome to the affiliate program overview. So in this part of the video, I'll be showcasing how to sign up for affiliate programs and what are some of the best affiliate programs and products to promote in 2025. And here's a little screenshot for all of you. This is one of my affiliate programs. This is Elegant Themes. And over the life of promoting these guys, I've earned about $586,000 from promoting a simple WordPress theme. But let's jump into our slideshow here and give you a little bit more in detail. So when promoting products, you essentially want to pick two specific niches, right? You want to create like a primary and sort of a secondary. For me, I promote web hosting and also WordPress products. I also kind of promote digital marketing as well because they all kind of go hand in hand, right? So in my specific personal opinion, I think software products are the best. They offer the highest commission rates in the industry, and a lot of these companies will pay you for customers to sign up for free. One example is Constant Contact. This program here will actually pay you like $10 per sign up, even if the customer spends $0, which is crazy, right? Also, another really cool program is SEMrush. SEMrush, I'm sure you know, is very popular, and if you actually go to apply and you just check it out, they'll pay you $10 for every free trial that we generate. And if someone actually signs up with their credit card, you make $200. So with this specific regard, it's very easy to generate commissions through affiliate programs that really are SaaS products or digital products in general. Going back to our slideshow here, but that's not all, right? Don't think that you have to promote software. Crypto is a great one, right? It's crypto. They'll pay you based off how much they trade in their account, which is very good. Finance and loans, health and wellness, travel. Travel is a big one actually, and this is actually really easy to get started with. I think in the future, travel is going to be a lot more popular because you have all these digital nomads like myself that are traveling, and we're always looking for like the best gear to travel with and stuff like that, or you know, tickets for like first class airlines or whatever. Then we have dating services, which is always popular. Child products. So I'm happy to announce that I'll be a father very soon. And dude, these strollers cost like $500. It's ridiculous on how expensive these child products are. So child products is a great niche because they rip off parents and we have no choice but to pay whatever they throw at us because we have to buy something for our kids, right? And obviously the how to make money online niche. Now this one's a little controversial because I've seen a lot of fake gurus on YouTube that just sell BS and they BS their audience all the time. And it leaves the audience kind of like pissed off at the end because they realize they got duped. So it's kind of hard to maintain a long-term life with that specific niche. So it's a quick way to make money, but if you are going to be in that niche, be very honest with your audience and don't BS them because people watching on YouTube do really know who BS is and not BS is people, right? Now, top affiliate programs for earners, right? Now, Amazon Associates is a very popular program, but just realize that their commission rates are pretty bad. To give you an idea of this, if you go to the Amazon websites, they pay around like 1 to like maybe 4% for physical products, but their digital products, they pay a lot more. So they can pay up to 20% for their games on Amazon. Now, to play devil's advocate here, the Amazon affiliate program actually has very high conversion rates. So when you create an Amazon affiliate website, it's very easy to convert those sales because everyone knows and trusts Amazon. So as a result, the conversion rates for Amazon are a lot higher, even though their commission rates are pretty low. Now, another thing is software affiliates. Now, a lot of programs like Elegant Themes, they offer recurring commissions. So as long as the customer is subscribed with them, I'm getting a cut of that every single year. Some programs have revenue shares of every single month. You just want to check with the program to see what kind of commission structure they offer. And then obviously high ticket items such as cruises, cryptos, and luxury service. Cruises is actually a really popular one. And I bet you're thinking to yourself, well, that's going to be really hard to promote. Not really, right? If you're on if you want to start like a travel blog or a travel channel, you can recommend specific travel cruises. You can recommend yachts, right? You can recommend all sorts of stuff like that. Now, where do we find these programs? Well, there are websites that act independently, and there are websites that are part of a marketplace. So for example, if you go over to Elegant Themes, they are not listed on any marketplace. So whatever product you want to promote, all you need to do is simply scroll to the bottom of the website, way at the bottom here. And on every website, they have affiliates or an affiliate program at the bottom. So right here is their affiliate program where you can sign up. Also, constant contact. If you go to this website here as well, and here I'll go to the main page, they don't have it advertised on their menu at all because they don't want people to know about this, right? So all you got to do is scroll to the bottom of the page, and at the bottom you'll also see affiliates. Now, I don't believe Constant Contact is part of a network, right? So a lot of these websites, they act independently, so they're not part of any network. Now, there are programs that are part of networks like impact.com, sharesale.com, cj.com, and then obviously direct websites where you can just sign up for their program. Now, one of the more popular ones I would say is definitely Impact and ShareSale. So this is impact.com, and what this website is, it's basically a marketplace of a bunch of companies that get together with affiliates, and they want to find affiliates to promote their products. So what I'll do here is I'll log into my accounts. Okay, so this is my Impact account, and you'll see I'm part of a lot of programs right here. So I'm part of all these different programs. Now, if you want to find a product to promote, all you got to do is go over here to brands and then click on find brands. So here is a list of a variety of programs you can join, right? And there's so many different niches. Edible arrangements, I used to like buy my ex-girlfriend these flowers back in the day because like whenever we would fight, I'd buy her these and, you know, hopefully that would fix the problem, right? Now notice here how they have all these different women clothing, women shoes, and products for women. That's because women are the best customers. They buy everything online. So if you are choosing your niche, it doesn't always hurt to cater to women because those women, man, they buy everything online, right? So here is a bunch of different programs, and here obviously is the travel niche, right? Like we talked about before. Also Colgate's, Adidas, whatever. So all you need to do is just type in what you want to promote. So for example, if you want to promote something like coffee, maybe you're a coffee blogger, right? Here I'll type in coffee, and here is a list of coffee brands you can promote. So they have all these different like coffee brands and Black Rifle coffee, which is very popular. Now, here is a word of advice for all of you. So once you become an established affiliate, they give you these percentages right here, like 20%, but you can always contact them later once you become a well-known affiliate. And these companies, they will give you higher commission rates for sure, right? So they might start you off at 20% for this Bullring Brew company, but if you're selling, if you're making a lot of sales, they'll be like, hey, you know what, we'll bump you up to 30% because they want you to be dedicated for that specific company. That's always something to consider in the long run. Yeah, on your own free time, feel free to sort of research companies that you want to promote, but this is the website where you can get a good variety of businesses to promote. The next one is cj.com. Now, I don't really use this platform too much anymore. I did way back in the day. I think they owe me like $1,000 or something. Let's take a look here. I think they owe me something. Oh, and this company owes me about $1,300, right? So I should probably request a cash out pretty soon, right? Now, this works the same way. So all you would do here is just go to partners and click on find advertisers. And then here is a list of advertisers in the marketing section. Ooh, it looks like Facebook. Facebook actually has a affiliate program. I didn't even know that. Path Social, Uber Suggests, and a few others. So this platform actually has a lot of different partners as well where you can find products to promote. And the very last one is sharesale.com. I am also in this affiliate program, but it looks like one of the main partners I was promoting actually is moving away from ShareSale. So we'll have to find out what's going on there. Okay, so this is my share sale account where I'm owed $74. If we scroll down, you'll see my top merchants. So WP Rocket, they paid me out $5,000. WP Box, $3,000, Themile, $1,200, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to find a product to promote, under merchants, we'll click on search merchants. And then obviously you do the same thing here, right? So you would just join a program and then they would give you a link and then you can promote that on your blog, right? So I think at this point you understand what's going on. You understand these merchants and stuff like that. Now, let's say, for example, you do pick a program and they accept you. What do you do from there? Well, let me show you. So let's say, for example, right here, we promote WP Rocket, which is a caching plugin. I think in the future, they might go bankrupt because a lot of these other companies are making free caching plugins. So I'm approved. And then right here, we have our default link. So this link is tied to my account, right? So if we go over here and we just paste that in and press enter, it redirects users to this website. And if they buy something through this link, I make a commission. Now, whenever you get a link from any of these companies, whether it's Share a Sale or whether it's from Impact, you're gonna take that link and you always wanna convert it in your WordPress dashboard. So earlier we talked about pretty links. So right here, I'll click on pretty links. And this link is from WP Rocket. So we're gonna put WP Rocket here, and then we're gonna put permanents, paste the link in there. And then right here, I'll put WP Rockets and then click on update. Okay, so now we've generated that link. And all you gotta do is just copy it, and we're gonna paste this later in our blog, but now you see we have a really clean link and it redirects everyone to that same website. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the affiliate program overview. As you can tell, a lot of these companies are very profitable. So feel free to build your websites, create your niche, and then apply for programs and products that revolve around your niche. When you first get started, you might get low commission rates from these companies, but later on, once you bring them more traffic, many of these companies will willingly give you higher commission rates all the time. So now that we understand affiliate programs and we know how all that works and we know how to get links, now let's go to the next section and create some content. Let's go. All right, party people, welcome to the content creation section. So in this part of the video, I'll be showing you how to create content that ranks really well on Google. We'll also be talking about what to include in your blog post, what's Google looking for, and also a new thing that many people overlook, which is UX experience. So your affiliate marketing website will have a structure just like this, where you have your basic pages and then you have your blog. Now your blog is gonna be the only thing that's generating pages which are indexed in these search results. These other pages generally won't be indexed too much. I mean, you'll be lucky to get your offers page in the results, but generally they don't index these pages in the results. Now, the reason why we create pages like the offers and contact is once they view these blog posts, they can then view your offers page and other pages. Now it works like this. So people on the internet, they go to the Google search or whatever search they're using. They type something in and they find one of your blog posts, whether it's WordPress versus Wix or best WordPress themes or a Flotsam review. Once they actually find these posts, they then click on it and they're brought to your specific post. In this specific post, we're then going to take those affiliate links that we got from those networks and we're going to inject them inside of our blog post. And this is going to be the exact structure that we're working with, right? So we have the introduction, we have the body, and then generally we have the closing. Now there are some things to include besides this, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. And once people actually click on these links, it will then show up in your accounts where you'll see how many people clicked on the links, if they took action or not, the sale amount, and how much you made from the sale amount. Now there's also other things that we'll be talking about, but we'll save this for a little bit later. So let's go ahead and talk about creating content. Now, before we create content, we need to understand what are we making, right? There's several different blog posts that you should be making for your blog, right? Now, really quick, this is gonna be the overall structure of your blog post. This is what ranks really well on the Google search. I have many posts that follow this same exact format, including my competitors, and we all follow the same structure. So we first have the title, right? We have an introduction. This is going to ask questions. It's going to invite the reader. It's going to encourage them to keep scrolling down. Once we have our hook and they're interested, then we start introducing the body content, which is the meat of the article. This is why they clicked on your actual blog post. Title is something like, what is the best email marketing tool? The body is going to contain all of the tools that you want to recommend. And the conclusion is generally going to re-encourage the reader, and you're also going to recommend specific services that you personally recommend. I find that a lot of the time when I put links in the description, in the conclusion, those are actually clicked the most because users are scrolling down, we convince them to buy it, and then now they can buy it right here in the conclusion, right? So now let's answer some questions that you might have, like how long should my paragraphs be? How long should my content be? Now your introduction paragraph should contain around 200 words. So in the introduction, you should have maybe 1 to 2 paragraphs, and it should generally be around 100 to 200 words. Don't be too long, because that's really going to drag it out. Now, you might be asking yourself, how many words should I write in my article? Well, there's actually a study on this. So I read an article about this as well, and longer content just performs better. So here you'll see that 0 to 1,000 words ranks pretty low. The more words you write, generally the content ranks better because it's more informative. However, if you write too much, Google finds that it's irrelevant and it's not really needed for the writer, and it might actually be overwhelming. So they might actually kind of push you down. So don't write like 20,000 word articles. It's not going to rank you better than something like, 4,000 or 5,000, okay? So now we know how much content we're supposed to write. Now, how do we format this content? Well, generally, you do want to break up your content into smaller sections. A lot of people don't like looking at just large pages of text. It's very uneasy on the eye, right? And Google knows this. Let me give you an example of an article that's ranking for us that we just wrote. So this is an article that we just wrote, and this is actually ranking on the very first page for best free Elementor kits. If we scroll down, you'll see it is right here. Now, if I scroll down this page without even speaking English or understanding what it says, it just looks appeasing to the eye, right? So here we have our introduction paragraph, right? And then we just go into the meat of the article. Now, when I scroll down, notice how we have these breakups, right? How we break up each specific paragraph to make it look easier. And then right here, we have this orange background that just pops up at you. And it's just a summary of what we talked about. So if the user doesn't want to read any of this, they're going to notice this and they're going to say, oh, wow, it's for serious business. Okay, I'll go with that one, right? So we create backgrounds with colors to stand out so that the user doesn't have to keep reading just all this boring text. They're given colors, they're given pictures, they're given shorter paragraphs, because people's attention spans are getting smaller, and that's something to consider. And if you scroll down this page, you notice it has a really easy format, really clean, really crisp. Just by looking at this, it just looks good, right? So it's not always about the content that you're writing. A lot of it has to deal with the UX and the experience it gives the user. And then here at the bottom, we have our conclusion where we're just saying, where do you find these? What is this, etc. And this article is ranking on the very front page. So we just follow that same format we talked about, using that same format, and we're ranking, right? So going back to our slideshow here, let's talk about something else. So let's talk about the type of blog post, right? Now you're gonna have to know this because we're gonna talk about keyword research in just a little bit, and knowing the type of blog post, it might be helpful. So there's 4 types of content. This also applies for video content that you can create. There's informational intent. The reader wants to know more information about a particular topic. Benefit would be what is WordPress, right? So many people do create content just based off what people are looking for, like Omnisend or HostGator or something like that, right? Next, we have navigational intent. People browsing the internet with navigational intent are looking for a person, business, or brand. They just need a little help getting to their website, but they have an idea of what they're looking for. So for example, here we just put WordPress, right? Another one is transactional intent. So here we have users with this intent are typically ready to make a purchase. They are probably searching for the best deal on the product they want to buy. Their search term could be something like how to install WordPress. So in a search term like that, they've already sort of committed to using WordPress and they want to know how to install it. These are actually money-making articles, but don't overdo it too much because you don't always want to sell on your blog. And then we have commercial investigating intents. So people who are typically not ready yet to make a purchase, but they are thinking about making a purchase in the near future. The search term could be something like WordPress versus Shopify. So they might want to buy something, but they're just not sure on it. These also are very high converting blog posts because this is where you can market several services and make commissions. So for our specific article, we will make a commercial type post, and we'll talk more about that later. So my recommended post strategy for most people watching this video is creating how-tos. People typically type in how to do something a lot more than just OmniSend review, right? Or HostGator review. I think reviews are outdated, and I don't think people really even click on reviews no more because you already know it's gonna be a commercial, right? It's just someone's gonna be selling something to you. So for example, how to start email marketing, right? How to pick up after your dog, how to get more web design clients, and then you can always recommend an email provider, a dog pooper scooper on Amazon, or recommend a company that can get you leads. We'll talk more about how to create high converting titles, right? So here it is, headlines are critical, right? So let's take a look at these titles, right? OmniSend review, top choice for e-commerce. This generally has a 5 to 15% open rate. Or how does this sound? OmniSend review, how we make $500 a day with OmniSend. It's like when they're telling me they're making $500 a day, I kind of want to know how they did it. And that might actually encourage me to open the article, and that has a much higher open rate. This title right here has an open rate of 30 to 40% versus something like 5 to 15. So again, that is a huge amount of clicks in the long run. So what should you include in every single blog post in order to get it to rank? Well, you need to incorporate outbound links. Make sure you include at least like maybe 5 outbound links. In fact, every single one of my articles that's ranking on the first page, we have about like 5 outbound links. So here you'll see we're linking to marketmuse.com. If we scroll down this page, we're also linking to Backlinko as well, and also shiftelearning.com, because a lot of these are relevant to the article and it also backs up what we're trying to say. If you have a blog post with no outbound links, it's very hard to rank those because Google thinks that you're a black hat website, like a porn website or gambling website, because those websites typically don't link to any websites. So you always want to make sure you participate with other users and incorporate outbound links. Internal links. You must link to other articles on your website. Google does like internal links on your website because that allows the user to browse around to articles with ease. Do not keyword stuff. So if your article is something like this right here, how to write high-ranking blog posts, it should not be more than 4% of your article. If you keyword stuff, that means you keep taking this title and you place it everywhere in your article trying to get it to rank, Google might penalize you. So do not keyword stuff. Keep it to a minimum. You don't really need to keyword stuff. It is an outdated practice. Include images and name them. So for every single one of these articles, I have images here, and every single one of these images, we actually change the alt tag for each of these images because people who are blind and also screen readers, they need to know what this image is. So we title all these images so Google knows who to give this to, right? We'll talk more about naming your images a little bit later, but it's always a good practice to name all of your images. And post to social websites. Post to social websites and Pinterest even if you have no followers. Creating backlinks helps page rank juice. So just by creating this article, just share it on social platforms. Even if no one is actually reading it, that's okay. When you actually take this and you link it to many different websites, it does send social signals to Google that it's relevant and people are sharing it. And the last thing we're gonna talk about before we go into the UX is focusing low competitive keywords. So if you're looking to target something like best web hosting, you're probably never gonna rank. I'll be honest, not even I can rank for best web hosting, okay? It's a really competitive keyword. So a low competitive keyword would be something like web hosting for Christians, or e-commerce platforms for pregnant women, or e-commerce platforms for single moms. You know, a lot of these have very low search volume, but getting your content found at first is key for long-term success. The reason why is people do share your content later. Google recognizes people are watching and reading your articles, and then it starts ranking it up as time goes on. Just to give you an example, here is SEMrush. Now, you don't have to purchase SEMrush. In fact, you'll see right here, I haven't even paid for my subscription yet. But let's do something like email marketing, right? So email marketing, the term itself is informational. So the user wants to find a specific answer to a question. The search volume is pretty high, but the keyword difficulty is way too tough for us. I mean, we're never gonna rank with this. So we gotta mix it up, right? What about email marketing for beginners? So email marketing for beginners, obviously this is gonna be a waste of our time because this is also difficult to do as a new blogger. So what I'm gonna do here is go to the magic tool, and then we're gonna put in just email marketing. So let's just see what's available for us as a new blogger, right? So here we go. We have a lot of competitive keywords, right? Email marketing is actually pretty competitive. Email marketing jobs, that's actually possible for us. But what I'm gonna do here is click on the KD ratio. And here we go. Here is a list of keywords and articles that we can create content around. Now, a lot of this pertains to like location. So what I'm gonna do over here is go to the KD and I just wanna put possible, okay? Not easy, but possible. So anything in the possible range, we can create content around. And you'll see there's a lot of different articles that we can create. If you do want access to this tool, I'll leave a link below to SEMrush that you guys can use. But this is generally how you would do keyword research, because you don't want to write content that's just not going to rank. It would be a waste of your time, right? So let's go ahead and do something that we're going to focus our article around. Let's do Omnisend. So Omnisend is going to be a tool that we're going to promote on our new affiliate marketing websites. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the keyword overview really quick. So obviously Omnisend is not going to be worth competing for because it's too difficult. But what about Omnisend Review? Let's take a look here. We'll put Omnisend Review. And under the keyword difficulty, they're basically saying it's possible, yes. So I'm going to go ahead and now focus my content around this specific keyword because SEMrush is telling me that this is actually possible to rank in the result. They're just saying it needs to be well-structured and unique content. So let's give it a try. Let's create an article around Omnisend and see if we can generate commissions for this specific app. Now, the very first thing we're gonna do before we create the content is to get a link, right? So over here under impact, I first need to actually join and then I need to create the link for Omnisend. So if I scroll down here, we have Omnisend Affiliate Partner Program. And here's the link. So what we're gonna do is we'll go back to our websites and we'll create the link before we generate the article. So right here, I'll add a pretty link. This will be Omnisend. And then we'll go ahead and make this permanent. And then we're now going to create our affiliate link, right? Here I'll click on update. All right, so we're all ready to rock and roll. Now let's create a post. So to create an article here at the top, I'll go to plus new and post. You can also do this right here from the back end. It brings you to the same exact area. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and put our title, Omnisend Review. Aha, just kidding. That's so boring. No one's gonna click on our article if it's Omnisend Review. What are you, stupid? Let's go over to ChatGPT, right? So I'm gonna put in something like, I need 5 different clickbait titles for Omnisend Review. Let's see what the AI can generate for us because Omnisend Review is just so boring, right? Here we go, we have plenty of these. Look at this, $500 a day. So it looks like the $500 a day thing really improves the click-through rates. So what I'm gonna do is grab one of these, why we made the switch. I think that's better, right? Why we made the switch. It's like, well, why did they do it? You know, why did they switch to Omnisend? You know, it creates curiosity for the reader. Now we're going to focus on our introduction paragraph. Now, if you're a complete noob at writing, you can ask ChatGPT to help create you an intro. I recommend to get inspiration from them. Now, I do not recommend to put whatever they give you. You really need to change up the content. So get inspiration, but don't copy. So now I'm asking the AI, create me 2 introduction paragraphs for these titles. And ChatGPT generally will go ahead and generate some introductions for us. All right, here we go. So here's an introduction. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take this paragraph right here and we're gonna place it in our article. So now we're gonna revise this piece of content too much. So the answer is maybe. So we don't really wanna give them an answer just yet. And now we're just going to give a brief explanation of Omnisend and what it does. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press enter here, and I don't like how long it is, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce a question that questions Omnisend. So next I decided to ask a question. I'm saying Omnisend claims to do all of this, but does it really do that, right? I'm sort of creating doubt for the reader so they're interested, so they don't really think it's a fully biased article. Now, what I like to do here is the color strategy. So obviously looking at this, it's a lot of text, right? So let's go ahead and double click over here, go to background, and let's just change this up a little bit. I'm gonna put this as black, and for the text, I want it as white. I do this in all of my articles, and I feel that it really helps the reader not get so focused and irritated on the eye, right? So I do like this setup. I like this outro much better, so I wrote this myself. But does it really deliver? In this review, we'll take a closer look at Omnisend's feature to see if it's a right choice for your business. Very strong introduction, right? We don't oversell them, we give them questions, we create a hook, and that keeps them reading. So the next section is gonna be critical. Now, we wanna give our opinion first before we go into the article. Maybe users just need a little bit of encouragement to buy something without even reading the article. So we're gonna give our opinion in this next section. So we're gonna put our editor's review. And we're going to make this as an H2 tag, right? So this is going to be actually like a, it's going to be like a new section. So before we talk about Omnisend, let's give you our opinion first. And then right here, I'll go ahead and put in my opinion. So next I gave a general review about what I think about Omnisend. And I just gave like, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. And I'm just giving an honest opinion. Now, every time you introduce an editor's review or what you think, always add a button. So here, I'm gonna put a button. And this is gonna be check out Omnisend. Now for this button, I wanna change the color to black. So over here under background, we're gonna change this to black. And the text is gonna be whites. I wanna carry like a black and white color scheme on this blog post, right? So whatever, brand that you're following, just make sure that you're consistent with your brand. In this case, I just like the black and whites. I just feel like it's easier on the eye. Now above editor's review, I might wanna add an image, right? So right here, click on add a block, and I'm gonna put an image. And I want to put an image of Omnisend because I want to remind the reader like what we're talking about here. So here's some images that I screenshotted from the Omnisend website, and I'm just going to take all of these and upload them. So essentially all I did was I went to omnisend.com. So I took a screenshot of this page right here. I also wanted to do the pricing because we're going to talk about pricing. So I took a screenshot of their pricing. Also for the features as well, I think for the templates, I believe also I took a screenshot of that as well. Right here under email templates. I did also take a screenshot of their templates because these are features that Omnisend offers that I do want to include in my content. So here's a list of images, and the first thing I'll do is enter in the main screenshot here, right? So our editor's review, I'm gonna put this up. Okay, now the next thing that we're gonna include is a pros and cons. Now, why would we add this so quickly? Now, if you look at all these top ranking articles, Google likes when you actually give all the answers right away and don't force the user to scroll. So this right here is a position 1 post. And right here we have the pros and cons, get Flatsome. Below that we have the editor's rating and another button. And then right below that we have the pros and cons because this is answering all of the questions the user might have. Same thing with PC Mag. Now this piece of content is actually ranking like on position 2 and they do the same exact thing. So here they have their opinion on what they think of Omnisend. You can go ahead and buy it. And below that, they also have pros and cons. So they're answering any doubt or questions the user might have without forcing them to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Now before, that was actually recommended, not anymore. So it's all about the UX design. So now you have a better understanding, right? It's all about the UX design. It's all about giving the reader what they want. Now really quickly, I do want to incorporate some sort of score over here, right? So I do want to give a score because I feel like that might help the reader understand what we think about it. So I'm going to give them a 4.5 out of 5 rating. All right. Now let's create a pros and cons, and we can actually use ChatGPT for this. So next I'm asking the AI to create pros and cons table for Omnisend. Explain what's really good and what's not good about it. All right, and here we go. We have some, pros and cons. We don't have to put all of these, but just take a look at these, make sure they're correct. Sometimes it does give you outdated information, so you do want to take a look at the pros and cons and just make sure that they're updated. Google really is very anal about the whole outdated content. If they find your content outdated, they will derank you. So next I'm gonna put space and then put pros and cons. And we're also gonna make this an H2 tag, okay? H2, and then right here, we're just gonna go ahead and paste this in there like that. Voila, now we have a beautiful pros and cons table. Now you could also add a pros and cons introduction just to kind of introduce the reader to the table, right? In my case, I won't, but you always can if you want to. And when they see this, it's just gonna answer a lot of their questions. It's not gonna make them scroll down. And then from here, now we can actually talk about why we gave it that review. So now that we introduced the pros and cons, now we need to answer the question, well, okay, all this is good, but what is Omnisend, right? We need to reinforce what we're talking about here. So we're gonna introduce the section of what is Omnisend, right? What is Omnisend? And then we're gonna make this an H2 tag, right? Okay. And then now we're going to answer the question, what is Omnisend? Now you can use your own words. I do recommend it. I don't recommend you keep using the AI. You need to add some personal touch here. So just be very, cautious with using AI because Google does know you're using AI. All right, here we go. So what is Omnisend? Now here I put in an image and then I'm answering the question, what is Omnisend? Now I recommend not to use AI too much. Okay, so you do need to write a lot of this content yourself. If you do use AI, try to limit it as much as possible. Think about it like this. The more AI content you create, the less of a chance it has to rank. Okay, just keep it like that. So here we're answering the question, what is Omnisend, right? And we're basically saying it's an all-in-one email marketing platform built for online stores. And then we're saying, what does it do? So emails, SMS, push notifications, and automation. And then here we're saying, like, what does it do? Well, it recognizes the need for a more complete communication strategy. Now, what I can do here is I can introduce something else. So I put in this paragraph and I'm basically saying it's a new platform. It's not as popular as MailChimp, but it's, you know, a really good email automation tool. Now what I can do here is I can highlight this as well, right? I do want to make this stand out, basically saying that Omnisend isn't the best, but they're new and they're upcoming, right? And I think readers appreciate that. You know, we're not so biased. We're still saying, yeah, there's other tools, but you know, Omnisend's really upcoming. So now that we answer the question, what is Omnisend? Let's focus on the next section. So we know what Omnisend is, but who's supposed to use Omnisend? Is it for beginners? Is it for teachers? Well, let's answer that question. So who is Omnisend for? And the next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and create some heading text, right? And then we're going to now insert a little bit more content. Okay, so now we're answering the question, who is Omnisend for? And it's primarily for e-commerce websites, Shopify stores. It's funny, they're actually more popular on Shopify than they are on any other platform. And then here we have WooCommerce. Now, since I know that Omnisend is more popular on Shopify, I could mention that in this article. Okay, so I mentioned that they started off on Shopify, but they grew so popular, now they're moving to other platforms. So that's basically answering the question, who's it for and why is it so popular, right? And what I'm gonna do here is I'm also gonna change this background because this is more of like key information, right? I think the user will appreciate the fact that they're being educated on what Omnisend is and who it's for. So now that we understand what it is and who is it for, now let's answer the question, well, what does this do? So we're gonna put in something like key features of Omnisend. Now I'm gonna make this an H2 tag as well. Next, we're going to introduce an image. So let's go ahead and put in an image here, right? Now, the one thing that we should be doing for all of our images, like I mentioned before, is naming the actual image. So on the right side, you're gonna see alternative text. I'm gonna put Omnisend features, okay? And you wanna do this for all of your images, all right? So just to make sure that we don't get lost, we're gonna put Omnisend integration with WooCommerce. All right, you know, sorry for typing wrong, guys. It's not me. I got a new keyboard and it's not working out for me. It's really not. And then I'll just put Omnisend. All right, so scrolling down here. So now that we have the key features of Omnisend, we just need to talk about what it actually does. Now you can use ChatGPT for this. So we can go over here and put, what are the key features of Omnisend? Okay, so they gave us a lot of content, right? And I'm gonna take all this right here and I'm gonna use this more of an outline, okay? So we're gonna take this content and we're gonna paste it in here. Now what we're gonna do is we need to reword a lot of this content and we need to create maybe images for each of these sections just so the user isn't overwhelmed with just so much text. Okay, so I reworded my content a little bit better, right? I made it sound more human-like. I kind of mixed and matched certain words, but overall, I'm listing all the features. Now, just remember, AI content is allowed on Google, but it must be helpful. So I did use bits and parts of AI here, but this is answering the question about the features for Omnisend. So what I'm gonna first do here is change these to H3 tags. The reason why is because, remember, this is an H2 tag, but these are features within the H2, so we need to make these H3. Okay, so here I incorporated the features. Now for each specific feature, you know, I do recommend that you add an image for each. I know that's a lot of work, but the thing is, users want to know about like, how does it look? You know, how does the automation, what does it look like? And if you just have text right here, you know, trying to explain their whole entire email automation, it's not really helpful. So adding in each image for each feature is really relevant. In fact, if we go over here to my Flatsum article, this is exactly what I did. So I'm basically explaining with a lot of images on exactly what it is, you know, what does it do, you know, and the whole walkthrough of the actual theme. So for this specific reason, I do recommend that you add images for each specific section. Okay, so here we go, right? So we incorporated the features, and now for some of these features, I added in images. This way, it's more interactive with the person. They can see what it's doing. Below that, we put, you know, about SMS marketing, explaining what it is. Here we have automation explaining, that newsletters are created right away when they sign up or something. Now, segmentation and integrations, I feel like I don't really need to add those because that's something they can look at on their own when they, sign up. And here we give them a campaign of how we can split test it with Omnisend. And then below that, we have analytics and reporting just to showcase what they're going to see in their dashboard. Now, what I recommend to do after all of this is to incorporate another button that links them to Omnisend, because if they see these features, they're going to say, oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Okay, I'm ready to buy. Let's give them the link again. So what we're going to do is add another button once we finish off the features. So now I'm going to put ready to try out Omnisend, check it out. And then here I'll put in a button. Okay, so here I added my little section and then we have a view features button. Now this section is going to be a little different. Now, if we give them our basic affiliate link, we're just linking them to the home page and that really isn't helpful, right? Now what we should do is go to the Omnisend websites, and then under the Omnisend website, we'll click on features and then we're going to put all features. Now we're going to take this same link and we're going to go to impact. So let's go to impact. Now here, this is the Omnisend partner program, and I want to link them to this specific page. So right here, I'll click on create. And now this affiliate link is now tied to the features page. Now you can always add this as a pretty link as well. You don't have to if you don't want to, because that's a lot of work, but you can always just go to your website here and then paste in that link, because you want to link them to the features page. And Google knows this. So if you put view features and you just take them to like the home page, that really isn't helpful because you're not navigating them to the right place. So at this point, they might be ready to buy Omnisend, but let's keep going. So this is all great, right? But how much does this cost? Well, let's put Omnisend pricing. We're going to space this out a little bit. So we're going to put space, and then here we're going to make this an H2 tag, right? Okay. And then below that, we're going to explain the pricing. Now, you should probably just hop over to their website and just take a look at it. And, on your own free time, feel free to like go through your partner's pricing, take a look at what they offer, right? So this is their pro plan, their standard, and just write it all down. This is the standard, the pro, and they also offer custom pricing as well. So I'm going to go ahead and write a quick paragraph here for the pricing. Okay, so I threw in some quick content for the pricing. Now, one thing I want to do first is I want to incorporate an image, right? So I want to show an image of the actual pricing. So we need a library. And then here's their pricing, right? Click on select. And then here I put Omnisend pricing. And then below that, we have my thoughts on the price. Now, this is great. So whenever you introduce pricing, always give your input, put a human behind the screen. So here I'm going to change this background to black, change this to white. So I gave an honest answer about what I believe about the pricing. Now, how does Omnisend compare against other competitors? Well, let's actually ask ChatGPT. So this is again where ChatGPT is really helpful. So create me an email comparison table with Omnisend and 3 other competitors. Show the difference on a table so I can compare them. Let's press enter. And look at this beautiful table. We have Omnisend be compared to MailChimp, Sendinblue, and Klaviyo. Now, what's great about this is that we can actually sign up for these affiliate programs like Sendinblue and MailChimp and then incorporate our affiliate link in all these companies, right? We don't just want to make money from Omnisend, we want to make money from everybody, right? And then after that, you can create articles about MailChimp, about Klaviyo, and Sendinblue and link them together in this specific table. It's beautiful, like it all comes together like an art, right? It's amazing. So let's go back to our blog post here, and I'm gonna put, what is the difference? Okay, so we put, what is the difference between Omnisend and other competitors? We're gonna make this a new tag over here, H3, and then we're going to list that table. Now, one thing I do wanna mention here, this is very critical, make sure this information is accurate. So if MailChimp does offer SMS marketing, you need to go to their website and verify it, okay? So go through all these companies, make sure it's relevant and make sure it's up to date, because Google hates not up-to-date content. And later on, once you actually promote MailChimp, you can incorporate a link right here, and this can be your new affiliate link for MailChimp. So you can promote several companies in one post. Now you might be asking yourself, Daryl, is that bad SEO practice? No. So it's always good to promote other companies to give the readers more choice. Now what I highly recommend to do here is link to link to MailChimp, link to Sendinblue, and link to all these other websites. The reason why is you need outbound links, okay? Google doesn't want you just to write articles and not link to anywhere. So they want you to be more liberal when it comes to writing articles to give the readers more choice. Okay, so once the reader sees this, they're gonna say, okay, cool, we got Omnisend, MailChimp, and other providers. So now they can get an idea of how it competes in the market, right? So it makes sense. So we're gonna scroll down here. And the very last section, we're gonna answer the question. So how do we make money with Omnisend? So we're gonna go ahead and put how we make 500 a day with Omnisend. Okay, so we have this title. Now guys, ethics aside here, a lot of people are not making $500 a day with Omnisend. However, in my case, I have discovered that SMS marketing is more efficient than actual emails. So in this specific case, I gave like one small example and I multiplied it because I did actually notice an increase with SMS versus email. So basically on a larger scale, you could make up to $500 a day with Omnisend, right? It's not lying, it's just being not as truthful as I could be, right? So I'm gonna give a quick story on how when I switched to SMS marketing versus email, we saw our conversions increase. Okay, so I gave this quick story about how we use SMS for instant conversions. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna take one of these images that I got from the internet, and we're gonna show them a dashboard here with money. Now, you can always ask ChatGPT to actually create a story for you, or you can ask it, how can I make $500 a day with Omnisend? And they can generate some sort of a strategy or story for you. And in this case, we actually gave statistics. So we actually did do this, but on a much smaller scale, right? So we noticed that people that actually opened up SMS notifications were more likely to buy than people who opened up emails. And then right here, we gave them a before and after using emails versus SMS. And then right here, we basically said A/B split testing really does a lot when you're trying to make money with Omnisend. So after the user sees this, they might be encouraged to take action. So we want to add another button. All right, and there we go. We got our button there at the end. So if you do need help creating like a product outline or some sort of story, the AI is actually great for that. And to finish this off, we're finally done. We're now going to add our conclusion here at the bottom. Okay, and then I'll just give a general overview about what I think about Omnisend. So there we go. I gave my final thoughts, and here I put my opinion, and I basically said I think it's worth it, right? So I'm gonna take this paragraph here, and we're gonna add a background. Oh, it looks like I did it for everything. I think that's fine. Right? I think that's good, right? I think that's actually pretty nice, right? And this is actually a really well optimized article about Omnisend. We've included images, tables. We've actually linked to other websites as well. The only thing that we probably could have improved was interlinking. However, since we have no other content on this website, we'll have to wait until we produce more content and then link to other articles on our websites. In case you don't know what interlinking is, it's essentially linking to other parts of your website. So once you create other articles, you would then link to other articles in your main article. So yeah, the last thing that we have to add now is a featured image. So over here under post, I'll click on set featured image. And now we need to pick an image that represents this specific company. So I'm gonna put this little coupon right here. All right, and then we're gonna now publish this article. But before that, let's just take a look at the snippet. How I made $500 a day with Omnisend and why we made the switch. And then here we have some excerpt. The excerpt is actually created by the Rank Math plugin, which we installed earlier. So I think we're all ready to rock and roll here. Publish and publish. And congratulations, party people. Congratulations on our first blog post. Let's take a look. View post. And here we go. How we made $500 a day with Omnisend. Now scrolling down this post, notice how it just looks great, right? It's easy on the eye. We have our editor's review, pros and cons. What is Omnisend? We're answering the question. We have our little snippets here to give our little outputs and what we think about it. Next is who is Omnisend for? Key features of Omnisend, and this is exactly how articles can rank really well on the first few pages. Scrolling down, I mean, we're answering all the questions, talking about the pricing, my opinion on the pricing, and I think this is great. The emoji with the hand, it really like captures attention, right? What is the difference between Omnisend and other competitors? And then here we have a really beautiful table generated by AI. And then here we have a quick little story about how we did it. A/B split testing for higher conversions. Check out Omnisend, and then we have our final thoughts here at the bottom. So overall, congratulations, beautiful article, pat yourself on the back. You now know how to write high-ranking content. Okay, so now we know what it takes to build high-ranking blog posts, right? Now, I wanna give you all a quick behind the scenes of a blog post that's ranking on the first page through my backend before we actually talk more about the SEO politics like page rank, and domain authority. So for example, over here, if you type in Blocksy review or even Blocksy, my article again is ranking on the very first page. So here is my website, and also here's my website as well. Now, if you just type in Blocksy again as well, I am the very first article besides the actual company that owns Blocksy, right? Now, I want to give you a quick demonstration of the backend here and just show you what rules I'm following and exactly what to go through so you can get, blog posts that rank just like this. So here on the right side, now I'm using Yoast, I'm not using Rank Math. It doesn't really matter which one you use, okay? There is no best one, okay? Don't listen to anybody, okay? And also don't listen to all of these like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. Don't worry about the red lights, okay? It's okay, right? Now here we go. So I followed all of the rules that we've been talking about. So I have many outbound links in this post. I have images, internal links. My text length is about 4,000 words. The title, and then also SEO title width. These two are optional. It doesn't really matter as much. So if I click on this image, you'll see that we place this alternative text. So just make sure to always name your images. Scrolling down, you'll see that we have many links right here that link directly to the actual website of the company. And for every single image, we do actually name the image. So that's just something to consider. And just scrolling down here, we're going to come across many backlinks. And I do like this right here. I do like the My Thoughts. I think this is a really good thing to add for all of your blog posts because it adds more of a genuine touch to all of these blog posts. Here we have a link to Hostinger. Now, Hostinger is related to WordPress, so you need to have hosting in order to use WordPress themes. So linking to companies that are relevant to the product, it's just as good. Now scrolling down a little bit more, you'll see right here we have this link, and this is a link to other articles. So this is what we call interlinking, and you do want to make sure that you interlink maybe twice or maybe even 3 times per post. Okay, that's crucial. Google likes it when you give the option for users to navigate to other articles just so they're not stuck on one specific page. And then scrolling down in the article, we do talk about how it utilizes WooCommerce. So we actually created a link to WooCommerce because, it is relevant in the actual article. And then below that, we actually have a link to the free version. We don't just want to sell them the pro. Some people might find the free version very helpful. So here we just recommended the free version. So everything that we talked about in this part of the video, you can see that my blog post, we follow the same exact format. So there is no magic, just do exactly what we did, just follow the rules that I told you, and you can have high ranking blog posts in the matter of no time. So let's talk about what to expect when creating a blog. Now, if you're a committed blogger and you commit to maybe make 2 to 3 articles every single week, these are some ideal results that you can expect. In your first 3 months, your first 6 months, it's gonna be really tough because you're gonna be forced to focus low competitive keywords, which results in a lot of work for a little traffic. But over time, you'll build up your DA, and we'll talk about how to do that in just a little bit. So for the first 3 months, if you're consistent with around 50 blog posts in the first 3 months, with articles ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 words, you should expect a monthly income of around $100. And I know $100 doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, it can be. Now we have a net worth of $5,000. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that is a lot of money. Like, that's crazy. Well, a lot of people are willing to buy blogs that have already gone through all of the BS, all of the hard work. So don't think of your blog post as just, oh, I'm not making money on it. You're really building an empire at this point. Now, when we take a look at 6 months, if you maintain an average of 150 blog posts within a 6-month time frame, you should expect your page views to be around 50,000. Now, just to reiterate here, page views are not visits. So your average page view for like 1 to 3 months, it might be around 1,000 people, right? 6 months, it might be around 2,000, maybe 3,000 people every single month, right? And that's ideal. But page views are how many times they're like scrolling through different pages. That's why you want to interlink articles, right? Yeah, it's all coming together. Now, a net worth of a blog that maintains this sort of status is worth about $10,000. And the first year, if you maintain 300 blog posts, which is a lot of blog posts, and that's a lot of commitments, you should see your page views at around almost 100,000, and your monthly income should be a little bit higher at that point, right? So if you're making 300 blog posts, a monthly income of $800 is very feasible, very easily doable, especially if you're selling your own product. Because with that many page views, selling your own product for even maybe like $1, it's definitely doable. And your net worth should be around 15K. Now, let's say that you just want to build a blog so you can sell it, which is what a lot of people do. There are websites on the internet called Flippa and also Empire Flippa, where you can actually, oh my God, this was actually sold. Well, let me find another blog. So let's take a look at some websites right now that I've actually sold already on Flippa. The first one is Smart Garden Home. This website sold for $10,000 and it was only netting about $200 a month, right? Now, if you look at the actual page views right here, 13,000 a month is pretty standard, and I think that's somewhat ideal. Well, actually, they're a lot less, man. So yeah, this website actually, maybe the owner got screwed on this because that's a really high price for not that many page views. But that's good for us, right? Yeah, it's good for us. The next one was GeneratorMechanics.com, which sold for $13,000. They were making about $1,200 a month. Now, this is only 7 months old, okay? So 7 months, these guys made $13K, plus they're making $1,200 off the Adsense. And taking a look at their page views actually is much better than the other websites. So maybe that's why they're willing to, pay a higher price, right? But keep in mind, 7 months, I mean, that's not a long time. And the last one was vwtuning.co. This one sold for about $6,000, and this was only making $250. Now, the age of the domain also plays a big factor. Not all the time. It doesn't really matter as long as the traffic's coming to the website. And yeah, this website here, the website doesn't really have any content. You can see the page views are very low. They probably don't have that many blog posts, and they're still netting a decent amount. So when creating a blog, don't think of I'm just creating blog posts that aren't ranking. You're essentially building an empire that you can always sell later. One important thing, every single year, update all of your articles. Simply by updating your articles, that sends social signals to Google, and that can really influx the positions. Even if you're not adding that much value to your blog post, just update it anyways. Google loves up-to-date content and it hates outdated content. So now let's talk about one of the most important factors about your website that most people on YouTube and everywhere leave out, and that is domain authority. Domain authority is the most important aspect about your blog. The higher the domain authority, the stronger your blog, the better the ranking. The lower the domain authority, the lower your strength and the lower chances you have of ranking anything, right? So domain authority is essentially a strength of your actual website. So my website has about a DA of around 70, right? Which is pretty good. And you as a new blogger, you're gonna have a DA of maybe 0 to 10, right? And everyone has to start somewhere, no problem. Now, how do you build domain authority? Well, you need to create content that is worth sharing. If your content is not worth sharing, it's very hard to build backlinks. And I'll explain how to actually build backlinks without sharing in just a bit. But this is something that you should always consider when building a website, because remember, websites with higher DA will be placed higher in the search results by default because they've already established themselves as a reputable source, okay? For example, Forbes, they pump out a bunch of garbage, right? And they seem to rank #1 for pretty much anything they post. That's because their DA is like 99. It's extremely high. So pretty much anything they post is gonna rank on the first page, unfortunately. All right, so DA, very important. You want to grow your DA, and many investors will look for this when buying a website. Okay, now really quick, if you're not really sure about DA or how to check your DA, you can go to ahrefs.com and check the DA checker. For example, my website, darylwilson.com, our DA is about 72. And we have about 20,000 backlinks. And here is a video that I posted about a year and a half ago. My DA back then was 66 with only 4.3 backlinks. And in about a year and a half, 2 years, my backlinks have quadrupled and my domain authority went up quite a bit. So how do you build domain authority? Now, the first thing that you need to do, obviously, is create very high quality content. It needs to be worth sharing. If it's not worth sharing, you're really not gonna go past like 20 or 30, right? You're gonna be there at the bottom. The better quality that you create, more people will share your content, especially on Reddit. Now, when you're actually getting a do follow backlink from other websites, you always wanna make sure it is a do follow backlink. So a no follow backlink essentially doesn't really give you any sort of credit, right? It doesn't give you any sort of, juice, right? A do follow backlink, this will actually give you juice. So this actually gives you points, all right? That's the best way I can use to describe it. The more do follow backlinks you have to your website, the more points you get. The more points you get, the higher the DA goes. So I have about 20,000 backlinks and 90% of these are do follow backlinks. So when you actually guest post or you link back to your website or you post something, always ask for do follow backlinks. That way you can build more authority for your websites. So next we have PageRank. Now PageRank is not as important as domain authority, but it is somewhat important depending on the quality of the content you create. So this really is talking about the quality of the actual article and not the actual website, right? So you can build a good PageRank again by just creating really high quality content and getting links back to that specific page. If you want to see a page rank that's really high, like 90 or something, here in the search results, this is my website and we're reviewing Generate Press. Now, this is as good as it's going to get, right? So when someone types in Generate Press review, I'm ranking number 1. If someone just enters in Generate Press and we scroll down, besides the actual SERPs and the actual company itself, like WordPress and GitHub, my website again is ranking right below that. So the page rank for this specific post is very high. Now, if you create low quality blog posts, that's going to give you a lower page rank, okay? So page rank is specifically talking about the actual quality of the content and how many backlinks are linking back to that specific article. Okay, so how could you get backlinks besides sharing content? Well, you can always do guest posting. Guest posting is essentially when you go to another website and you ask to write content for them for free. I've done this many times. Now, when you write content for them, you can actually create a link back to your website, and that creates a do follow backlink, which essentially boosts up your website. So essentially what you're doing is you're knocking on the door for other websites and saying, hey, I'll write for you for free if you give me a backlink to my website. Many companies say yes because it's free, it's a free content writer, it's a free article. So many companies are more than likely to accept your guest posting. If you need help with guest posting, you can just type in guest posting services, and there are many companies that will actually do outreaching on your behalf. It is a pain in the butt to go outreaching to companies and just try to build backlinks. So many companies will do this at a cost, and many actually have like a network of people that they can create high quality backlinks back to your website. Now, if you want to learn more about guest posting, I created this video about 2 years ago, and we do use a service called bloggeroutreach.io where you can actually get some pretty high quality backlinks. So I built a coffee website, and on this coffee website, we actually connected with bloggers in the similar niche, and I created content for them, and they linked back to my website. So guest blogging, it's critical to get your DA higher. It's actually a fast way. It's more of like a cheating way on how to just bypass all the BS, right? But again, just make sure that you have good quality content on your website, because these companies will look for that. So now that we know how to write high-ranking content, let's talk more about the Parasite SEO method and how to achieve this. So a Parasite SEO method is essentially leveraging large domain authority websites in order to get your content to rank much faster. Websites like medium.com and also LinkedIn can get your content ranked very quickly. Now, why do they rank your content quickly? Well, it's because they have large domain authority. For example, here I'll go to ahrefs.com and we're going to type in medium.com. It's very strong. 94 is extremely strong, right? So in Google's eyes, they actually view this as a very high domain authority website. Same thing with LinkedIn, right? So if you type in LinkedIn, the domain authority for LinkedIn is 99, right? So these are incredibly strong domains. Now, in order to blog on these websites, all you got to do is just sign up, make an account. And once you do that, you'll click on Write. And then this is where you can blog away. Same thing on LinkedIn over here. So if you have a LinkedIn account and you click on Write Article, this is how you can essentially write articles for LinkedIn and then get indexed by Google. Now, let me give you examples of how effective this strategy is. So let's go over here to Google. So I went to the search and typed in Cloudways review. Now, the reason why people are making articles about Cloudways is because they have a very good affiliate program, which means you can make a lot of money through commissions with this program. Now, this is a very competitive keyword, and if you look at the actual second article right here, this is from LinkedIn, right? So this guy is leveraging the domain authority from LinkedIn. If we scroll down and look at the websites below him, these are some very strong websites. PC Mag, Cloudways, Elegant Themes, Capterra, Forbes. This guy is beating all these guys because he is just leveraging the fact that LinkedIn has such a high domain authority, right? So let's try something different. Let's try hosting a review. If we go to hosting a review, you're also going to run into a LinkedIn article as well. And this is actually by one of the other same content writers. And if we scroll down, you'll see that there are large domain authority websites like CNET and Tech Radar, Cyber News. So this guy is completely beating all these other companies. For instance, I typed in over here, Blogify review, and guess what? Medium, that's another article on the first page, Medium again, right? And then we're gonna see this guy's blog post. Now, instead of actually following the blog post, if I click on his profile, you'll see there is a link back to his website right here, where if we click on it, this is where he inserts all of his affiliate links, all of his tools, all of his affiliate programs. So up here, you'll see that there is a page right here. And this is essentially just all affiliate links, right? This right here is affiliate link, affiliate link, affiliate link. And he's just trying to extract traffic from those large domain authority websites like Medium and LinkedIn. So that is the Parasite SEO method summed up. So if you're trying to rank for competitive keywords, make sure to use those social websites like Medium and LinkedIn. However, if you are trying to compete for something that's not as competitive, definitely try your website because you need to have at least some content on your websites. So I hope you all enjoyed this section. Make sure to start with Parasite SEO. We love Parasite SEO. We want to cheat our way to the top, right? All right, party people. In this part of the video, we'll be talking about video content creation. Now, today, everything is gearing towards video content, and I think you watching this on a video platform know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So in this part of the video, I'll be showing you different platforms where you can upload your content. I'll show you exactly how I do it when I make videos, and I'll show you my gear, my setup, everything. So at least you have some, inspiration and some, questions answered, because a lot of people are left in the dark like, what do you use? What lighting should I use? Whatever. All those questions will be answered in this section of the video. So since you guys have watched the video this far, I feel like you guys have deserved to see my analytics. So this is my YouTube analytics, and this is something that you can expect when you are creating content. Now, I'll go ahead and just show you my analytics. I'm sure that's what you want to know, right? So these are my analytics for my channel, and this is the amount of views, my watch time, my subscribers, and my estimated revenue. Now, the great thing about video content is when you make video content, YouTube pays you. That's what I love about video content. When you're blogging, it takes a lot longer to get that kind of result, right? So here are my views. We have my watch time, we have our subscribers, and then also we have the estimated revenue. Now, I pretty much make around, I would say $10,000 to $12,000 a month because I also do have 5 or 6 other YouTube channels that repurpose my content, right? And scrolling down, you'll see our top performing videos, right? So I think I'm known for the WordPress tutorials. I think people really like those videos. The other ones, yeah, I'm pretty known for the digital marketing and WordPress plugins and all that stuff, right? Over here under content, we have a list of all of my content right here. I do have some unlisted videos that I share with my editors and stuff like that. And yeah, oh yeah, my Google Ads account suspended. I got to pay a bill. All right. So this is my, this is what you can expect. I think creating content with video is the future, right? There's no better marketing than video content. Now, where can you upload your video content? Now, the great part about video content is you can spread it everywhere on the internet and gain multiple audiences at once. It is the best, hands down. You can first take your videos, start with maybe YouTube Shorts and upload them here. So you'll see I have many YouTube Shorts. Now, to be quite honest, long tail content performs 10 times better than shorts. Shorts are like garbage, and you don't really make any money from shorts. So if you do decide to make shorts, just remember that the monetization is very low. To give you an example here, let's go ahead and give you guys some numbers. Let's help you out here. So for example, I'll find one with some good amount of views. This one right here has 32,000 views, right? My analytics, let's take a look at how much YouTube paid me for this. $1, right? So we got $1 for 32,000 views. The shorts are really only good for branding and building backlinks to your websites. You typically won't make any money with this kind of video format, unfortunately. Now, if we go over to my other videos, which is my long tail videos, I think content over here. Yeah, right here. I get paid a lot more, right? So let's take a look at a video with a decent amount of view size. Let's take a look at this video, right? 100,000 views for this WordPress Elementor tutorial. I'll click on analytics and you'll see it's insanely different, right? So for 100,000 views, I've made $3,200. Now this video is about 2 months old. So I'm making about $1,500 every single month from this video. Now, this isn't for everyone. So in the tech sector, I'm paid a lot more for ads, but if you're like in the pranks, or if you're like, like a funny channel or a video game channel, the ad revenue is very low for those channels. So unfortunately, this is a biased example because I am in one of the most highest paid sectors. So that's just something to consider. Now you can take your content and also repurpose it. You can take your shorts and upload it to Instagram, which is a great way on how to get exposure from multiple audiences. TikTok is killing it. I mean, look at all these videos, 1.3 million views, 500,000 views. I mean, the amount of views on these videos is just insane, right? And you're never gonna get this from a blog. I repeat, you're never gonna get this from a blog, okay? I don't wanna be the killjoy here, but I just wanna put you in the right direction for success. You can also take your videos and put them on Facebook Reels and also Facebook. Now, I'm in the tech sector, guys. I'm in the how-to tutorials, and honestly, tutorials are not really viral. Tutorials are not really like, they don't go viral. So if you see tutorials with a lot of views that just got pumped up, it's because they bought views, they bought watch time. There's a lot of black hat stuff that goes on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's really sad. So here we have see insights and ads, but I got about 600 views, not bad. And we actually do have, we have some interactions or some reach and stuff like that. And I did add some links here in the video description, but it looks like people just aren't clicking on them, as much. But that's just because, let's be real, Facebook, it's just more of a place to just spread your content around for social signals. I don't really think people like Facebook. I mean, every time I go on Facebook, it's a bunch of trolls, right? You can also take your content, your video content, and repurpose it for video pins. Yes, Pinterest does allow video pins. Now, I know I'm introducing a lot of platforms right now, but I'll be talking about which ones you should use, okay? There are some that you should not be using. I'm just showing you platforms where you can syndicate it. And then also we have Rumble. So whenever these guys get kicked off of YouTube, they all go to Rumble. And believe it or not, this website does have a very big backing. So I believe USDT, which is a cryptocurrency, they invested, I think, like $900 million into this website. They do believe at some point it will be the next YouTube. Do I think so? No, because it's really only for gaming, politics, and people who just like hate the internet, right? Or crypto, right? That's another popular one, right? I've shown you all these different video platforms. Let me show you my gear and show you exactly what to buy if you're beginning YouTube, right? You don't need an expensive camera. You don't need an expensive microphone like mine. I'm using a Shure mic, which is the same mic that Joe Rogan uses. It's about $1,000. You do not need it, okay? I don't want to recommend all these fancy tools for beginners, all right? So let me go ahead and walk you through the tools that I'm using before I show you my beautiful studio. Now, the first thing I'm using is ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow allows me to record my screen and also myself with a camera at the same time. I'm on a Mac, so this is, I believe it's native to Mac, I'm not sure, but you'll need to find a service or some sort of tool that allows you to record yourself and the screen. Now, if you're looking for a webcam and you're on a budget, I use this webcam for my first 6 years on YouTube. It's a Logitech Brio 4Cam webcam, and all you gotta do is place it on your computer, plug it in with the USB, and it works just fine with the ScreenFlow app. Now, if you have money and you're not afraid to spend anything, I started with this camera here, the A6000, and all you got to do is buy this camera and then connect it to your computer. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I connect it to my computer? Well, there is a device called CamLink, and this allows you to essentially connect your camera with your computer. So you essentially connect your camera to the computer with this device, and then you turn on your camera, and then it just records everything, right? So that's what I'm talking to you on, and I'm using the CamLink device as well. And if you need a microphone, I definitely recommend the Yeti, the Blue Yeti, or any of the Yeti microphones. I use this as well for the first 5 years of YouTube, and it worked great. I built a career off it. This is all you need. If you do want to check these out, I will put links to all of these tools in the video description. All right, and then we're going to talk about how I create YouTube videos. But before that, let me show you my setup. Okay, so here we go. And here we have these two lights. Now I got these lights, they're called Nice Photo, but you can buy just like regular lights from Amazon, like this one right here. Those are the ones I used to use before, right? So these two lights are pointed at my computer right there, right? and you'll see the lights are on. All right, so the lights are both on, right? The lights are on, okay. And these are pointed at this, at my desk. Now this desk is elevating, so I can lower it or I can raise it. Here's my camera with my camera stand. So you'll see right here, I am using the Sony camera. This is an A7 actually, so this one I just got. And you'll see this is connected right here to my computer. And right here we have the Cam Link device, and that connects right into my Mac. Also, you can use the webcam if you want, right? Now this right here is a sound booster. It's not really required. This is because I'm using the Shure mic, but you don't need to, you don't need this. So don't panic if you see things you don't know. And anyways, so now that you've seen this, we'll go ahead and see my background. We have this wall right here. That's another room. Okay, I have some designs and just, it's just stuff laying around. And then right here, we have my main setup, right? So you see me talking to the camera. We have two lights that are pointed at me. Now, this isn't the proper lighting sequence. I know I don't follow the traditional lighting that you might see on YouTube videos, but it doesn't matter. As long as you get the lighting you need, that's all you need, right? This one right here, I turn on sometimes if there's not enough lights. However, there is a patio right here, and I've decided to block it out. I put bed sheets over it because I want to keep the light consistent. Okay, so now you know my setup. Now, if you're asking me, Cyril, that looks like another condo. Yeah, I have two condos. I have one I live with me and my girlfriend, and then I have this one, and I've turned it into an entire studio because I tried working from home, and it didn't work. My girlfriend and her friends would come over and they would be like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go have a drink? And I'm like, no, I'm working. And they're like, can we watch? And I was like, no, I can't. I can't do this. So I had to just completely get out of there, right? So anyways, so those are the devices that I use and the ones that I do recommend. Now, before we talk about how I actually make these videos, let's go over here to Upwork. So you can hire a video editor on Upwork for really cheap. So this guy right here, his name is Chamber. He does videos for me and I pay him about maybe $100 a video or something like that. But for YouTube Shorts, it's maybe $50, right? So expect to pay anywhere between $50 to $150 for a video or YouTube Short, just depending on the experience of the editor. Now, I know that seems like a lot of money, but creating one strong video is way better than creating 1,000 shitty YouTube Shorts. Okay, let's be real, right? So what you got to do is you got to go to Upwork and you can type in video editor and you're going to get a list of people that'll work for a pretty decent price. Now, I personally don't like some of these new younger guys because what I've noticed is when they make videos, it's too fast. It's like they need to slow down. But this younger generation, they have very short attention spans, and it sort of shows when they create videos. Now, personally, I like to hire video editors from the Philippines, Eastern Europe, or Indonesia. Those are my 3 preferred countries. Why do I pick those countries? Am I racist? No, those countries, I feel like they do the best work because I've hired many people from many countries and you can sort of get you can get a feel for how they work and stuff like that. So the Philippines, it's a great place for video editing. I probably recommend that number 1. Eastern Europe, like Belarus, Ukraine, Romania, great as well. And also Indonesia. I would say Indonesia is probably my 3rd pick of the countries I prefer. So yeah, that's exactly what I do. And you just want to make sure that when you click on someone that they actually know how to use Adobe Premiere and also After Effects. So the difference is if you hire a person that just says, I know video editing, what they're gonna do is they're gonna give you a video that doesn't have any animations or no graphics. That's what every typical video editor does, like this guy right here. There's no animations, it's just cutting the camera and adding transitions, right? You wanna find someone that also knows Adobe After Effects because that's what creates the animations. For example, this one right here. This guy right here, you'll see we have animations, all these different effects. And it's interesting because it takes the attention away from just so much talking. So when you are looking for someone, make sure they know After Effects or motion effects so they can create animations that look just like this. Okay. All right, so now that we know who to hire and the countries that I pick, the countries I prefer, everyone has their own preference. I'm sure many people have their own preference of America. America is good, but the thing is they just wanted too much money. I love to support my country in America, but these guys, they want $300 to $400 per video. And I'm like, guys, I'm looking at $50. And there's a disconnect and we just, we can't agree on anything. So I'm just like, all right, you can find some for $50, but it just takes a lot of digging, right? So yeah, feel free to, explore the world of freelancing on your own free time. How do I make YouTube videos? Well, a lot of YouTubers do this. Now here, I tell you what, let's start from scratch. So the first thing is I want to brainstorm. So I work in the WordPress sector, right? The WordPress sector. So I work in the WordPress sector. Give me 20 video ideas for my YouTube channel. Make sure they are engaging and up to date. So if you do need help with ideas, ChatGPT is amazing. ChatGPT really gives you some great topics. And there we go. We have 20 ideas that we can use for a specific video, right? Now, let me give you a real life example of something that I've actually used. Okay, so here's a script that I actually used for a video that's currently uploaded right now on YouTube. I wanted to make a video about the best digital marketing methods. Now here I decided to give them my list, right? So I didn't want them to tell me what was the best. I wanted to tell them what I thought and then give reasons why it's the best. So here we have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. And then scrolling down, they created, kind of like a broken outline, and that's fine. Now, once that was the case, I needed to beef it up. So here they decided to actually create the script. So here's the introduction. We have, YouTube, TikTok, and everything else, but it wasn't that good. So I said, you know what? So now I'm asking, can you start at the bottom and also expand on each section and make it more humorous? So I'm saying, can you give us more information about each social platform and also make it funny? Like, don't make it boring. Don't make it so damn serious, And they did. So here you'll see the introduction's longer. We have, the tiers where it's a lot more, in length, and also it's a lot funnier than just some boring random content. Now, after I tinkered with it for probably another 15 minutes, I then had a script that I wanted. So I simply got on the, I got my microphone, I got my camera, and then I read the entire script. And sometimes I'm reading the script, I'll actually start reading it on my screen. And when I do this and I give it to my video editor, he knows where to add in animations. So that's how I do it, right? So when I'm talking to my editor, I'm saying, look, when I'm talking on the camera, don't add animations. When I look on the screen, then you add animations, okay? And then I just shift back, right? So that's typically how I do it. It's easier for me. Everyone has their own style of doing it, but I feel like that's one of the best ways to go. And then once you're finally ready to, upload your content, you go over here to YouTube, you click on create and upload, and then you just upload your video. Don't be scared, don't be timid. I know people creating videos think, oh, I'm so ugly, or maybe they don't like my face. Guys, remember, nobody cares but you. Okay, I'll be real. No one cares if you're ugly, if your hair's messed up, it's okay. But the only advice I have is just do it. Just do it. It's a mental block that people have. And once you just upload your first video, you'll feel a lot of stress just go away. You're like, I'm done. I did it. Okay, let's do another one. Now, there is one other thing that I want to mention, and that is buying YouTube Shorts or buying video content. Now, for this video, I decided to actually save you a lot of hassle. I went over to Fiverr and I bought YouTube Shorts from 3 different sellers. So if you type in YouTube Shorts and you press enter, you're going to come across a lot of sellers that will give you like 100 YouTube short videos for like 15 bucks, right? Typically, it sounds really good when you first get started. I mean, 100 YouTube shorts, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot of videos. I can get viral on one. And that's true. You could get viral on one of these if you get lucky. And, guys, getting lucky on YouTube and blogging, I got to be honest, it's kind of like 20% of the factor. It really is. Like, you just got to get lucky sometimes, YouTube isn't perfect. So let me show you what I ordered, right? This guy gave me like 100, he gave me 600 YouTube shorts. I paid about $13. So if you want to know what these guys give you, and here's the motivationals, and then here we go. So essentially they're just motivational speakers, right? So here's an example. This is what they gave me. They gave me 600 of these.
Know you. Don't let shit hold you back. Not a relationship, not a friendship. I ain't telling you to go against your parents, but not even them. Whatever you see.
All right, that was a little weird. Let's try another one. Let's try this one right here. This real estate scammer. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I told my wife when I got with her, I said, look, I'll do anything for you, except one thing. I will not give up on my dream. If I got to surrender my dream, I'd rather be alone. Because if I abandon my dream, I'll abandon you. I truly believe that. I see so many people, man, they give up their dream for the wife. They give up their dream for the husband. They give up their, and then the wife and the husband get together and they have kids and then they give up their dream again because of the kids.
So to be fair, it's really not that bad of a value. You can always start with this, but it's really hard to build a brand around this because they're just motivational speeches and they really won't get you much. And even if you get a lot of views, I already showed you earlier how much money you make from YouTube Shorts, so it might not be suitable for everyone. This guy gave me 100 YouTube Shorts, and I do believe this one was actually, I think they were more weird. I think the first one was better, but here, let's take a look.
Rebuilding bad credit can feel like an uphill battle, but it's possible with time, discipline, and a solid plan. Start by paying off any outstanding debts and making all future payments on time. Consider setting up automatic payments to avoid late fees and missed payments.
Okay, so it's very generic advice, right? Let's just look at one more before we leave this section. Take a look at this one.
Learning the basics of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds can give you a head start on building wealth. Start with small amounts, even if it's just a few dollars a month, and watch your investments grow over time.
Okay, so yeah, I think telling kids to gamble on Forex is not really investing because stock markets, I mean, come on, that's a little too quick. But anyways, you can see it's not bad, but it might not be helpful for you to grow a brand. Now, what I personally do recommend that you do is make your own videos. Okay, it's the best option. You can simply hire an editor, record it yourself, and your quality will be unique. No one else will have it. And the quality definitely goes way higher. And you have a better chance of getting a viral video, doing it yourself versus just these random generic videos that don't really bring any value for your brand. Now, real quick, if you do plan to use AI, I actually have 2 tools that I recommend, and I also have 2 tutorials on both of these platforms. The first one is Google Flow. Now, Google Flow recently launched their new VO3 version, and honestly, it's the best thing out there. For example, I made a video right here about it. And you can check this video out. I'll leave a link in the description. But looking at these videos, the way they're created, I mean, this looks almost like real life. Like, it's crazy what you can do with VO3 version. It is limited. It's not available for like 60-second videos, but they will release an update that will allow you to make like really long videos with the AI tool. The second tool that I recommend is InVideo. I have a tutorial on this as well. I made a full channel about how to make 2-minute videos, and I use this tool. So if you do want to actually make AI tools, I do recommend both of these services. I have links to both of these in the video description, along with tutorials for both in the video description as well. So that is the video content creation section. I hope I gave you a lot of insight about video content. I personally think that creating videos is the way to go. I'm not really going to go through editing and all that stuff because I feel like if you're a beginner, you should just have an editor. I personally use Final Cut Pro for my editing program, but it took me a long time to use it, and it took me a lot of time to learn it, and maybe you don't have that time. So if you do want to learn Final Cut Pro, there's tutorials on the internet everywhere, but generally I think video content is required for success. You really should focus on video content because it's easy to get found and it can make you a brand overnight. So I hope you all enjoyed this video content section. With that said, let's go on to the more interesting part of this video, and that's SEO. All right, party people, welcome to the SEO section of this video. So now we're going to talk about how to drive traffic to your affiliate marketing website, your blog, your videos, whatever. I'll be showing you the best methods in 2025 on how to get more traffic to any sort of source. Now, there are some platforms that are great, and there's some platforms that have kind of fell off in the past few years, and we'll be talking about how to drive mad amount of traffic to your blog or your videos or whatever source you want them to go to. So let's get started. Now, the very first thing that we're going to talk about is my tier list. Now, I've already created this and compiled this in another video, but we're going to go through this and why this is the case. Now, obviously, the best digital marketing source is YouTube. I showed you all earlier how I'm making about like $10,000 a month on YouTube, and I'm just making like general videos that aren't too difficult. It's the best way to build a brand and an audience, right? The second is obviously Instagram, TikTok, and then now we have Reddit. So let's talk about Reddit. So we talked about YouTube and Instagram and TikTok earlier. I showed you all how to make videos in the last section, but now let's talk about how to utilize these platforms to get traffic. Now, the first one is Reddit. Now, why does Reddit make the A tier list? Well, the amount of work that you have to do for the results that you get is amazing. Here I made this one post, and on this one post, I have 11,000 views. The second one, we have 76,000 views for a simple question. I mean, imagine if I link something here. Now, if you were to create a blog or something, you are not going to get this many views on your blog post. There's just no way. So how do we utilize Reddit in order to gain traffic to our affiliate marketing websites? Well, there's a few strategies here, and I'll show you just a few. Now, the very first method that I'll show you, and this might sound a little generic, but let's just get started with that, is creating high value comments. So for example, this guy right here, he is the moderator of the WordPress subreddits, and all he really does is leave really high quality answers whenever people are asking for help. Now, when he's actually, when he's solving questions, a lot of users look up to this person and saying, hey, this guy really knows his stuff. And a lot of his answers, he has a lot of karma, which means the community does like his answers. Now, he never specifically mentions his website or links to any of his, websites, but if you click on his profile, it does show his actual websites. You can also start a chat and you can follow him. So you can build an audience simply by answering questions every day. Now, I do believe this user does make about $200 to $300 a month with his buy a coffee. Essentially, people do like the value that he brings, and a lot of people actually buy this guy coffee. Now, all this guy is doing is just answering questions. So $200 to $300 a month is pretty good, even when you compare that to AdSense. So to get that through AdSense, you'd have to get like thousands and thousands of views, but for answering a few questions, you can make just the same, right? Now, the second method is to ask questions. So this happens all the time, right? Whenever you see these people ask about software, generally it's the people working for the software companies. Now, this is kind of an oxymoron because I never even asked about the Solace WordPress theme. This theme right here is my WordPress theme that me and my team personally developed, and someone else is asking for it. However, a lot of people make their own products, they make their own, whatever, and then they start asking questions. Oh, what is the Solace theme? What is the Solace theme? And they start flooding like the filters of what is Solace theme, and eventually the conversation picks up, people visit the website, and that's how it all works. Now in this case, I'm a little disappointed, so right here, the answer was this guy who obviously works for WP Beginner. He works for all these different blogs, and he's like, I don't know, but check out these blogs, which is completely irrelevant. This guy should be banned from the subreddit for spam, right? So we're going to downvote these answers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a detailed answer, and I'm going to link my YouTube video, right? So link my YouTube video, maybe even link my website as well. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and go to Solace WP. Okay, so this is my website for my WordPress theme, and I'm gonna go back over here and I'm gonna get my revenge, right? So, and then I'm gonna put, here is the website. Okay, so in this one YouTube video, I'm actually talking about the Solace theme, and then this one right here, I'm linking to my website, and I'm gonna click on comments. Now, I'm essentially not spamming because someone's asking me about have I used it. I'm saying yes, there's a lot of different kits, and I give an honest answer. My theme is not as robust as Astra or Bloxy, but it still has a great header and footer builder, and it's a good theme. So this question right here, this answer, I would say this is the most relevant answer so far. So what I just did here was I made a link to my YouTube video, and I also made a link to a website. Hopefully it doesn't get deleted. It shouldn't, because it is very relevant to the question. Now that is one thing that you should always follow. Make sure your answers are relevant. If you start posting your blog, if you just start posting random YouTube videos, you will get banned. Trust me. Reddit users have a sixth sense for spam, okay? So don't do it. Don't link anything, not unless someone's asking, which people do make accounts to ask questions and then to answer them, which happens all the time. So this is another way and a live demonstration on how I just created 2 backlinks, right? Now let's talk about another method. So here's another method. This person is looking to build a directory website. What is a good cost-effective solution? This was made 16 hours ago, so it's still live. And the person recommends a plugin. Now the question was, I'm looking to build one, right? So how do I do that? And linking a plugin, to me, that is not a helpful answer. Now, lucky for me, I do have a YouTube video which shows how to build a directory website. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click on this video and I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna go over here and we're going to join the conversation. So Daryl Wilson, and then I post it, right? Now, to be honest, there's a few things to consider. So when you're using Reddit, I don't like to always act like I'm Daryl Wilson. I like to use these, my Reddit accounts that have some decent karma to actually, to actually be a ninja and just start just post it in there really quick, right? Now, I know this might sound a little devious and deceptive, but to be honest, since Reddit is ranking #1 for a lot of these topics, it sort of forces us marketers to go to these websites and to practice this method because I want to be found on the search, right? And these questions are coming up on the search results. So if I were starting over, I would make one high quality account like this one right here, where you give genuine advice and you're recognized as a brand. And then I would create backup accounts to actually reinforce my questions. I would create accounts to ask questions on other subreddits to get the conversation going, and then maybe even using this account here to answer those. So I would definitely mix it up. I would use them in sync and use them together. So in a nutshell, this is how you can typically use Reddit to build traffic to your website. Now, Reddit gets a lot of traffic, so I know there's not a lot of activity on this, but people do click on these links all the time. So for that reason, I highly recommend to use Reddit. I think it's a great website, but just be very cautious. This website is so quick to ban account. It's crazy. This is actually an account I've purchased. I've probably had like maybe 2 or 3 accounts already banned in like the last 2 years. So the only drawback with Reddit is that they are very quick to ban accounts. A lot of the time, the subreddits are very biased. So you really got to be a ninja and kind of insert your link or something and hope and pray if you don't get banned. If your accounts do get banned, just appeal it. Just tell them, hey, I'm a real person and I think that this was a big mistake. But overall, Reddit is a great website to get traffic. Now let's focus on the next one, which is Quora. Now you might be asking yourself, how does Quora, help me? Let's take a look. Okay, so next let's talk about Quora. Now this is a Quora account that I used to use way back in the day for promoting affiliate products. And you'll see that this account has a little over 500,000 views. It's a lot of views, right? Now, again, if you were to try to do this on your own with blogging only, that's gonna take a lot of time, right? And you're gonna see that my questions and also my answers, they do have a lot of views. So here I asked a question about what is the best website to buy Elementor template kits, which is essentially my product. Now, what I've done is I've actually asked the question, and then over here, I actually give an answer. So I'm just gonna say, you know what, Daryl Wilson has the best template kits. I link to darylwilson.com, and they'll go ahead and post it. All right, and there is my post. Now, I'll be honest, I've had some Quora accounts banned way back in the day. You have to be very sparingly when you use Quora. I would say like maybe just like 1 question a day or something. They say that you can do more questions, but I've discovered that if you use it too much, you'll get your account banned really quickly, right? Now, there's another strategy on how to use Quora as well. Let's go over here to Google. So in the search result, I typed in something like Blogify review. Now, I am highly against AI tools, so don't use it, but they have an affiliate program, so they'll pay me whatever, right? Let's go ahead and scroll down over here. Now, right here, we have these questions, right? So they're asking like, does Blogify AI work? Here, I'll click on this question. Now, there is no answer for this. Now, if I had a blog post, let's just imagine and pretend that this is my blog post, Blogify review. This is my blog post I wrote on Medium or LinkedIn. What I would do here is I would link my article, go back to the Quora question, and then answer it. And then right here, I would tell them, hey, I've used Blogify. It's great. Here's some features. Tell you what, here's an article, read all about it. So I'll go ahead and write an answer. So I'm a very lazy guy, and I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT to make me something. So here, I got a response, but I told him to rewrite it to sound like an 8th grader and more human. I'm just gonna take this piece of content here, go back over to Quora, and I think that's good, right? Now, let's just imagine that this was my article. I would just take this over here and then just post it. Now, to be honest, Quora does also flag pretty often for spam, so just use it very sparingly, okay? So here we go. I wrote an article about it. All right, and then we're gonna paste that in, and then we'll post that. And yeah, so that's a quick way on how you can basically link something back to your website or to a blog. And to be honest, Quora, it doesn't get that much traffic, but just adding these backlinks for SEO purposes, it's a great way to, send social signals. Now let's go ahead and talk about the next one, which was blogging. Now, to be fair, we talked about blogging this entire tutorial, so we're not gonna really go into it, but I would give blogging a C tier. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's good. The next one is going to be Parasite SEO. Now, to be fair, I think Parasite SEO goes in B tier. I don't know why it's in C tier here, so I'm very sorry about that. I would definitely say Parasite SEO is much better than blogging on your own websites. Let's talk about Parasite SEO. This is actually one of my favorite methods. Now, what Parasite SEO is, essentially you sign up for websites like blogging platforms like medium.com, or linkedin.com, or even like hubspot.com, and then you blog on those platforms. Now, when you blog on those platforms, they get picked up in the search, and they also rank in the search, and they rank really well, and they probably rank better than any blog that you're gonna get started with when you first blog, right? To give you an example, here I typed in a Blogify review, and the very first article is a Medium article, right? Now, this user doesn't have a website. He just literally created a blog post, and he's ranking #1, position 1 for Blogify review. Now, Blogify review is not as competitive, right? So it's a lot easier to rank these non-competitive keywords in the search, right? And if we scroll down, you'll see he's ranking above AppSumo. I mean, AppSumo is a huge website. So this guy just completely bypassed the SEO rankings, went straight to the top with Parasite SEO. He's also beating G2.com. He's even beating Blogify.ai. I mean, this is crazy, right? So starting on websites like Medium and also LinkedIn, it is one of the best options if you want to sort of start building your brand. Now, if we click on this profile right here and we click on his name, you'll see that he links back to his websites and all of his other social platforms. So by doing this, he's essentially extracting traffic from the search through Medium and bringing it back to his websites, where now you'll see all of his basic blog posts. Now, I do believe this user is taking content from other websites and reposting it. I don't believe this is all of his content. I think he's using AI tools to take YouTube videos, to reword them, and to put them in blog format. A lot of the content on Medium is doing that. Hosting a review. Can Parasite SEO actually work for very competitive keywords? Well, let's find out, right? So we're scrolling down. We have Reddit, and we also have Quora, which we talked about. Scrolling down, you'll see that we have more Reddit accounts. Man, it's crazy how much Reddit stuff pops up on the front page. It is absolutely crazy. We have some websites. We don't have any Parasite SEO methods just yet, but let's take a look at the second page. PC Mag, Quora again, and voila, what is this? A LinkedIn post, hosting a review 2024. This user is beating Website Builder Expert and Tom's Hardware. I mean, he's beating extremely high ranking websites with no website. Let's take a look. I'll click on his blog post, and it brings us to LinkedIn of all places. And this is a LinkedIn post. It is crazy how this guy is beating these other giants. Here is one of his websites that he's recommending. So this is his websites. All right. Right here, this is an affiliate link that he created. So this is his affiliate link. If I were to click on this link here, and if I were to buy, hosting or services, he would make money. Yeah, this comes up in Thai because I'm in Thailand. We can see the power of Parasite SEO. He's linking to all these other different websites. He's putting affiliate links. He's putting links to his own websites. And I guarantee you, if we click on his profile, there's probably links to his primary websites, right? So let's see here. What does he do? It looks like we can't find his website. Maybe contact info. Okay, there it is. His website and his personal website. So he is utilizing Parasite SEO to rank really highly. And it looks like Parasite SEO works for very competitive keywords like hosting a review, which is very competitive. So I personally do recommend to start with Parasite SEO. I think starting a blog from scratch, it's difficult. Like if you were to create hosting a review for a new blog, you're not going to beat these other websites. But if you start from LinkedIn and Medium, you can definitely work your way in. Now, the next one I want to talk about that's not on this list, this is a bonus, and this is something that will generate you automated backlinks. Yes, I said it, automated backlinks. You bet you're wondering, how the hell are you going to make automated backlinks with zero work? Well, where there's a will, there's a way. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to the search results and type in, what are the best numbers for roulettes? Okay, so we're on search and we're going to scroll down, and here we have discussions and forums. And what is this? Best numbers on roulettes. Okay, now what is this? Is this a website? Kinda. This is actually a forum. I made a video about this last month, and Google is now indexing forums in the search results. This company right here recently made a forum because a lot of these questions are getting picked up by the search, and now they're links in the search results. So by creating a forum, you can have people asking questions, and these questions will pop up in the search results. Let me give you another example. All right. So here's a video that I made a few years ago, right? And here I'm demonstrating how to use a forum on your WordPress websites. Now, this is probably the easiest way to get automated backlinks, right? Now, notice here, a user asked tickets for products with WooCommerce. Okay, so someone wants to know about tickets for products with WooCommerce. Watch what I do right here. All right, so people are asking questions, and when we take this question and we search for it on Google, watch what happens. We're gonna scroll down in the search results, and then bam, my website is right here. So now this is being picked up by the search results. So tickets for product with WooCommerce, this is now a link in the results, and I'm actually ranking above learnwoo.com and even ads, right? So what happens here is when you create a forum, those questions can get picked up in the search results, and users can ask questions and you can answer them. And those same questions will get picked up in the search results, which is insane. Now, this is exactly why stake.com decided to introduce a forum. This is a new forum that they recently introduced, and they did this because Google is now indexing forums in the search results. Now, the one that is the last is Pinterest. Now, should you start a Pinterest in 2025? Well, I'm gonna say no, but it sort of depends depending on the niche. Let me explain. Pinterest, you might be thinking to yourself, I should make some pins, right? Well, Pinterest is gonna be one of those websites that I actually advise against. Now, my opinion has changed in the last few years. Before, I did recommend Pinterest, but since there's other platforms that can give you a lot more exposure, I'm gonna talk about why I don't recommend Pinterest. So this is my current Pinterest. I have about 1,700 monthly views. Now, when they say views, that actually means impressions. They're a little dishonest here when they say this because you're thinking 1,700 views. No, that's impressions. And I think they should change that to impressions because they're lying to their audience, which is really bad. So I actually have quite a bit of pins, right? So we create pins on my templates, and we have probably like maybe 1,000 pins, right? We have quite a lot of pins that we've created. We put a lot of work into it and stuff like that. But let's take a look at my analytics. So it looks like what happens in Pinterest is the pins, they kind of shift around a lot. You'll see that I'm getting 1,600 impressions, but I only have 7 clicks, okay? So that's not a lot of clicks, right? 7 clicks for about 900 pins I made, I'm not impressed. I haven't made any money, right? So there's no money. And here is the impressions. So what they're saying here is, yeah, you're getting the impressions, which they count as views. When you look at the pin clicks, it's very small, right? So I'm getting like 1 click a day, 3 clicks, 1, you know. So for that specific reason, I do recommend to put your energy somewhere else. You know, go with Parasite SEO, go with YouTube. Here's my conversion insights in the past 3 months. I've made $0. Now, I have made money with Pinterest before, but I have to pay to promote my pins. The advertising for pins is actually not as bad. You can get some conversions. It has worked for me in the past, but not all the time. Now, let's take a look at some of the most popular Pinterest accounts, right? We have Wattpad, Joy Cho, Poppy Talk, all these different other accounts. Now, let's take a look at this one right here, right? So this is, I believe they call Poppy Talk. Poppy Talk is getting 334,000 impressions, okay? Not clicks. It's probably a lot less than that, right? They have a total of 23,000 pins. I mean, it's gonna take you a long time, maybe like a year or 2 years to get that kind of, you know, to get those amount of pins. They even have 10 million followers, but it just looks like these followers are just simply not engaging with their pins, right? I mean, that's a lot of followers and that's very little clicks. I would say this is probably like 5%. So they're probably getting maybe like, you know, maybe 15,000 clicks a month. So yeah, that's one account. Here's another one, Oh Joy, which she is considered one of the most popular Pinterest accounts out there. She's only getting 132,000 impressions, and she has about 34,000 pins, which a huge following. I mean, if you had 15 million followers on YouTube, you're gonna get a lot more views, right? You're gonna get tons of views. I mean, that's like it's like Mr. Beast level or something, right? It's up there, right? And those guys are making a killing. But here on Pinterest, it's just like, yeah, it's really only dedicated for women and like maybe like cooking or feminine products. So it's really only catered for like very feminine audiences. And if you're not in that audience, it's just a complete waste of time. So for that reason, I do advise against Pinterest. I do recommend to make an account and then just maybe add a backlink right here. So on my account, you'll see that we have, you know, a backlink right here, and this does help you with like SEO. So I do think making a Pinterest and maybe just making a few pins, creating a backlink to your website, that is a good idea. I recommend that, but don't get too serious with Pinterest because I definitely think it's fallen off in the last few years. Now, there was a lot that we talked about, right? And you're probably not gonna remember all of this. This is why I created a downloadable PDF with a marketing checklist for you to follow. So here we go. You know, we made our websites, engage the community. Here, I'm actually just saying, you know, answer some Quora questions and Reddit questions. I should probably change this down to like maybe 10. I just don't wanna get your account banned. So let's just do like, I don't know, 10, right? My bad, all right? We're gonna change that to 10. Engage with Parasite SEO before your own blog. Diversify. Now, do not copy and paste your blog from your blog to, you know, Medium or LinkedIn. This is a quick way to get your account banned, and you will actually not rank at all in the search results. I know this firsthand because I actually took my blogs and I put them on LinkedIn. They ranked for a few days and then they completely disappeared. So do not copy and paste your content from your website. Make unique content for LinkedIn and also Medium. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Google AdSense approval. Now, to be honest, don't even worry about AdSense for at least like 3 months, okay? If you apply for AdSense in your first 3 months, you're gonna get denied, okay? They're just not gonna accept new blogs. You need to have a lot of content. Make sure it's high quality, good looking content. Use original content, avoid plagiarism. They will scan your website for plagiarism. Make sure it's user-friendly. And one more thing, make sure you get rid of all of the dummy content. If they see lorem ipsum anywhere on your blog, they will deny you, okay? I didn't make the AdSense part because you have a long way to go to get to AdSense, so that'll be maybe for another video in the near future. And with that said, congratulations, you did it. You completed the first crucial steps in building your online affiliate business. Now it's time to apply your newfound knowledge and turn your ideas into reality. So congratulations on making it this far. All right, party people, thank you all so much for watching this affiliate marketing tutorial. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. From here, it's a journey, right? And as long as you're consistent with your affiliate marketing efforts, it's almost like a guarantee that you're gonna start receiving commissions. If you do this stuff every single day, produce content, it's only a matter of time before people find your website and your brand. I wish you all the best of luck. My name is Daryl Wilson, and I will see all of you party people later.